What up? What is up? Why aren't you working again? Oh, but that might be why. Someone say something in chat. Why does this thing hate me? It should be working. Every week I'm having this problem. Why is it so slow? And it should be showing. Nope, not that one. That one. Well, ghetto it is again. Let's go. You know what? If it wants to go ghetto, it goes ghetto. What can I say? Let's sort out our background as well. How are we all doing? A little bit of a late one today, but lots of work and I was really busy. Let's go with my I guess it's a double-edged sword today, isn't it? Let's go with that. I like Starfield. All right. How's it going, people? How's it going? How is it going? Is everyone good today? Just remember there's no Xbox tax, just media bias. Apparently there's a difference. I'm good. PlayStation finally got a game day, but it's third party. Which one? What did they get? I saw you playing some Forza. Forza! Teardown. Wasn't their PS Plus offering so bad? Like, really bad? Although they did have Gundam Maximum Boost, so I'm gonna grab that. You know, being a Gundam fan and all, it would be criminal not to. But it is what it is, folks. Quite a bit of news to get through today. All of them more damning than the last. But remember, if anyone asks, is there any Xbox tax? There isn't. There's absolutely none. The media isn't against Xbox. It isn't against anyone or anything affiliated with Xbox. It's all just deserved. That's what they want you to believe. Now, Teardown's actually a decent game for what it is. Oh man, I have to do this. It's too quiet, and we need to. You know what? I know this is going to get demonetized, and that's okay. It's only the ads that are going to get demonetized. That's okay. any super chats or stuff will not be affected. So we're going to go to YouTube right now. And what we're going to do is type in royalty free lo-fi music. This says no copyright, 100% royalty free. Hands up who thinks I'm going to get demonetized within 30 seconds of airing this. Can't make this shit up, can you? Let's just use that for now. That is good. Let me know if you can hear it. I don't want it to be too loud. Trying to make it even more sleepy. It's lo-fi. But you can hear it, right? Or is it too loud? Is it overpowering? Is it overpowering? Is it good? Are we good? It's fine? Let's go. Okay. Because it was too quiet. It was way too quiet. It was starting to bug me. But today, we got big news, boys and girls. Hey, Lives Pride, we just went live after our interview. And guys, don't, once it goes live later this year, don't forget to check it out. It's awesome. It was a really good show. I'll definitely be tweeting it out nearer the time. So make sure you check that shit out. It was a very, very good dive into the world of YouTubing. But everyone is talking about Starfield and how Starfield didn't make the #1 game of the year, or it didn't get any nominations. You were good, my dude. You were good. You were good. But Jez Corden here makes a very, very good point. Why is everyone so hell-bent on and focused on Starfield? Like, what is it that makes the media jerk off like crazy as if they've got two dongs when they hear the word Starfield? When you've got one of probably gaming's greatest comebacks with World of Warcraft, let's not forget that WoW went down to pretty much garbage territory. No one wanted to play it. Asmongold quit. All the big streamers for WoW quit. It was by all means a dead game, and the developers managed to turn it around and bring it back to the point where it is, outside of just chatting, because that is always going to be up there, one of the big most played watched games on Twitch right now. Why did that not make for one of the best ongoing games out there? That is the point I'm making, Orlando. That is the point I'm making. I mean, the Balloon d'Or is a joke. The fact that Haaland didn't win it and they gave it to Messi, I mean, at this point, I don't know what anyone else has to do. I mean, Haaland should have taken that by a mile, but that's the football talk, and that's for another day. But I highly agree with you, because That is not just daylight robbery. That is robbery on a galactic scale. Because the guy is happy with what he has. Oh yeah, the moment Haaland didn't win it that year, it became a completely pointless trophy that no one ever should care about anymore. And people should, I mean, with that one especially, that's just garbage now. Haaland should have won that, hands down, easy. My dude had better stats in every single thing outside of winning the World Cup. But we're talking about gaming here, and as we can see here, this is actually a really, really good point, right? World of Warcraft is up there ahead of GTA 5, ahead of like all of these big games. Why is it not being nominated as one of the best ongoing games? Oh mate, his steaks aren't steaks, they're just dog food. It's crazy, right? You have to say, it's crazy that just because WoW is now an Xbox game, it gets snubbed. Like, people are talking about, you know, Hi-Fi Rush, and they're talking about Starfield, but just go to deeper levels and you will see how much the snubbery actually goes. It's not even worth talking about. I need a shave. But don't worry, guys, because The Last of Us Part 2, which only came out 2 weeks ago, is coming to PS5. You gotta be excited for that one, right? Who's ready to buy this 3 weeks after buying it? Brandon, that is correct. And if that was the case, they would have been up there with nominations without a shadow of a doubt. But who's excited for a remake 3 weeks after its original release? I have to admit, I mean, this game looked phenomenal on PS4, right? We're going to get to Hogwarts in a bit, because Mr. Toe decided to put his toe in it again. And well, Mr. Toe, he got even bashed down by even his own crew. But you know, Mr. Toe likes to put his foot in it, right? But when you've got Hyped, who is one of the most toxic PlayStation fanboys out there, right? Saying Naughty Dog woke up feeling dangerous. No new games released this gen. No games announced this gen. Old games re-released for remastering already remastered games. Let's go. Apology tweets. Let's go. Best PlayStation Studio. I mean, that's pretty bad. No, they didn't. They didn't, Brandon. Soon.tm Lions Pride. Soon. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? When you've got Hyped moaning at Naughty Dog, then you know that there's a problem. When you've got like Die Hard, I'm talking, you know, Braveheart levels of Die Hard fans, willing to sacrifice their soul, their life, their being for the good of the plastic. When you've got those people actually turning around and say, hey, let's just stop right there, folks. Something's not right here. We got to take a step back now, and we got to stop this shit. But one thing I will say, I've got on good authority, actually. And I can't reveal much more than this, but I do have it on good authority, and do take this with a grain of salt because I can't prove it. Factions 2 is still in development. Whether it's changing course on what it is, or what it's becoming or what it was, but it's about 2 years out. So do take that with a grain of salt, but I do have it coming from a good source that Factions 2 is still in development. But despite getting rid of all their stuff, it potentially looks like they're going in a different direction with it, going back to the drawing board, re-looking at things. But it is about 2 years out. It's a 2025 release. So who knows? Many things can happen within this time and then, right, chat? Because, let's all admit, it's time to blame the Series S. The Series S is the reason that the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is dead. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But that Series S, its influence is so big that it just had to. It had to stick its nose in places it just didn't need to be. Early games that were already groundbreaking get remakes, so it's a polished job more than an original idea bound to the year. Orlando, I agree. Remakes should never, ever be nominated for Game of the Year. They should just start with how many remasters and remakes are coming out over the past years, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of them. Why? Because they are safe. Some games are just so good that even if they re-release them, they will sell. And if they just make a slight tweak here and a slight tweak there, add a few scenes here, preferably at least, not like a one-to-one with The Last of Us 1, but just add a tweak here or add a tweak there, it'll be good enough. But this is a big problem with the games industry right now, and one that I want to talk about today because it's a huge problem and one that's looking to shape the next 5 years of our gaming culture. Because it's yikes, honestly. But Lion says, I wish I could have the chance to play Alan Wake 2 to see what the hype is about, but I don't have the funds. Don't forget, Epic Games Store doesn't cost you anything, buddy, other than a 2 megabyte download. We all love Epic Games Store, right, chat? HD Gaming Nate says, I'm only pulling your leg, dude. I know the contentions between the Steam lovers and the Epic Games Store lovers. I see you all out there. You platform warriors, you. Just give the ponies a remaster of the original The Last of Us multiplayer. They're used to that kind of treatment. The problem is, right, the original Last of Us multiplayer was actually pretty good. I spent a lot of time in there with my friend, and we had a lot of fun. The problem was they abandoned it the moment they released it. There was no updates, there was no anything to it, really. Well, maybe like 1 or 2 updates, but nothing serious. There was no desire to continue it, and they could have continued it. It had the makings of what was needed. But Caleb, from what I've heard, and I've heard it from a good source, again, just take it with a grain of salt because I can't prove it. I'm not going to say I'm going to prove it. All you've got is my word for it, and from my word comes from my source, and that tells me that yes, Factions 2 is still a thing, and they're looking at a 2025. I mean, I have no problems with Epic Games Store, Nate, at all. You know why? Because I have no loyalty to a brand in terms of platforms, especially. If you think Steam cares about you, just look at the way they've just treated their Steam Deck users. Absolutely appalling. Disgusting. You know, the way they have treated their current Steam Deck users is, you know, I would say borderline levels of EA and Ubisoft. They basically gave them the middle finger, they cheated them, and told them to back off. So, like I said, All brands just care about your wallet. Don't have the loyalty like you have right there. It ain't worth it. Nah, bro, gotta know what you mean by that. The Series S killed. I'm joking, dude. Orlando. I mean, Star Wars The Knights of the Old Republic is dead. I mean, I wrote down I blame Nintendo. We had a small civil debate about EG. Yes, we did. I've been buying more from Epic solidly. Me too, Sanchez. It's at the end of the day, it's cheaper and it works. And for those of us that like to use cloud gaming with GeForce Now, it's generally supported on GeForce Now as well. So happy days. As far as I'm concerned, I don't really care about the review system or anything else. I just want to buy the game. And if it plays, I'm happy. I'm a gamer. I'm not a politician. But yeah, look, I blame Nintendo. How if Sony had the exclusive rights though? You're killing me on this app. I blame Xbox as a game Sony has their hands in is on ice. I blame Mr. Thumb. I blame the Game Awards. The Series S strikes again. But yeah, it does look like the Knights of the Old Republic for PS5 is officially dead. And here we have Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Remake is dead, according to Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb, the #1 leaker who's 50% right. I just want to clear it up. This game is not being worked on right now. Just full stop. This game is not being worked on in any way at any studio. Game over. Wayne's World. Wayne's World. How's it going, buddy? Oh, what's with all the donations coming in? Why is it not pop? Okay, that's getting crazy. Why is it not popping up? Why isn't it popping up on my thing? No, I can't even see it. What's going on? Why isn't it popping up? Well, thank you very much for the donations. I mean, I've seen the notifications. It came up on screen. I don't know why it didn't come up on my feed though. That is highly strange. 1 secondo. I mean, I saw it come up on the actual thing, so it definitely you got the notification. I wonder if that fixed it. No, it did not. Did that fix it? No, it did not. Notifications definitely did come up though. One day this thing will stop trolling me. One day. Maybe not today, but one day. Ah, I see. Nothing actually registers donation. Interesting. You made an out-and-out donation. Which I appreciate. One secondo, people. 1 secondo. Waiting for a Resident Evil 0 remake. Did you enjoy the Resident Evil 0 series? I mean, if you're looking forward to it, you obviously did. I don't know, I had mixed bags with them. They weren't bad games. But I just kind of want the original cast back. What did you do then? Because nothing has come up. Not even on Streamlabs. I saw your thing come up. What was it? A super chat? What was it? Her tour is indeed cancelled. As we see here. Do you like the FPS or third-person Resident Evil games better? I don't mind either. I find the FPS ones are easier to control. Just for the aiming. I find with the third-person one, the aiming is really wonky and just janky. If that makes sense. But there's no Xbox tax, boys. There is no Xbox tax. Look how many times they posted the same article in the course of about 3 days. There is no Xbox tax. There you go, there you go. See, that popped up this time. It even popped up on my main screen. My 2-year-old tablet can do what the PS Portal does, but better. Anyone who buys the PS Portal would honestly get better use out of their money by putting in a huge pile and setting it alight. CB94, we're about to get to that because, my God, when you find out about this Portal, you're gonna be like going, my God, what have they done? How could they? And you'll have good reason to. And thank you very much for that $1.99 donation. But you know, must say that Marvel Spider-Man 2 is Insomniac's best superhero work to date. Just because it's got Venom, richly textured adventure that adds layers of gameplay, bollocks. I've played them, it doesn't. And a spectacle to a story filled with twists and turns. The story, the final third of the story was good, because it was just pure action. The moment-to-moment gameplay, I mean, you can see Jeff really does love it. Look how many articles they've got for the same thing. Moaning about the same thing. Why does that keep popping up? Okay. Do you remember I was mocking GameSpot? We gave it 7.2. We gave it 7.2. Please come and click our review. We want to be cool like IGN. This is where it came from, by the way. This is 4 separate articles. You know, that is 4 separate articles. Seriously, what the hell's going on? All right, there must be multiple. Sorry, one second, chat. Let me have a look at this. You guys can. I think I messed this up somehow. Yeah, I messed it up somehow. My bad. But there must be something here that's really affecting this, because that shouldn't be going off. That's off. Ah, you see, chat? You see? You see? You see? I knew it. I knew it. I have no idea why this is going off multiple times. I want to tell you that I know, because I'd like to say I know. But that's that, so that is fine. That's the alerts, which is up here. So why it's actually triggering multiple times, I actually don't know. That is pretty weird, because everything is disabled except for YouTube members Go, but that should be fine. Either way, let's continue with the stream. Hopefully that will have, what I've done has fixed it, because I am the Spider-Man. Well, more like Batman. You all know I'm Batman, right? Hey, Sappho. IGN bashes the Portal in their review, but still gave it the score. But then we, everything they say from this point is sus. I mean, this dude does ask for it though, right? Let's be real. Reviews that matter, they never did. And then it comes out with this. Like, if you're gonna go and say something, and if you're gonna like stand up and fight for justice, make sure you don't leave any incriminating evidence. You know, oops, sorry, hit the mic. This dude is like one of those Bond villains that literally incriminate themselves 3 seconds before actually doing the act that they're supposed to be doing. Don't do that. That's just dumb. Can I get it? Yeah, let's go. Alright, I am juiced up on energy drinks. Got my juice there too. We are good to go. But my god, that's a lot of Xbox. I mean, the fact that and then going and actually mocking it like this is ridiculous. But this is where you know that shit just got real, right? This is where you know where things just didn't pan out the way, well, did pan out the way IGN wanted it. Larian has announced, and remember, peeps, Baldur's Gate 3 will receive a physical deluxe edition for PC, which comes with an actual CD with the installer on it, of course, not the actual game. PlayStation 5 with 2 discs, and Xbox Series X with 3 discs in early 2024, and it's priced extremely well at 70, I think it's 80 euros. It will be sold exclusively through the Studio Store. It will include 3-disc original soundtrack, a cloth, world map, and more. Does anyone want to see what this artwork looks like from IGN? This is what their internal studios made. Anyone want to see how unbiased IGN is? Because you all are wrong. IGN is not biased, right? You all thinking they're sitting there thinking that IGN is biased. You are wrong. You're wrong. IGN is not biased. And this picture proves it. They are not biased in any way, shape, or form. I'm tempted to just buy it because it's like the first physical game since like 1999. It's more likely the compression. It's more likely the compression, and also the way Larian Games have done it. This game does not install onto your hard drive. It runs everything off the disk. Future updates will install to your hard drive, but as of early 2024 release, all the patches will be on the disk. So if you was offline and you ripped out your hard drive for whatever reason, and assuming the dashboard would still load, you could play the game. People still buy physical games on PC? Where? There's no such thing as physical games on PC. There's just Steam. Of course, TLOU2 comes in clutch. Of course, IGN only shows the PS5 version of their post. They forgot that there's an Xbox version, but they did have to show their precious PlayStation 5 version. Like, this is how you know that IGN has no shame at all. Zero. They've got no shame at all. Like, it is so bad. Like, they're not even, I mean, most companies try to put a little bit of shade on it, but these lazy fucks don't give two shits. They're just so, I don't know. I really don't know. It's really bad. Yeah, I think it's down to compression because the game is PlayStation's Kraken compression. You know, all jokes aside, is actually pretty good. And if you look at the difference between some of the games, depending on how that compression is run and how compressed they actually want to make it, you can see a decent chunk in difference. But whether it's 2 discs or 3 discs, I don't really care. I'm just happy that Xbox gamers who have been looking forward to Baldur's Gate can finally experience it. And with the Game Awards just around the corner, and I reckon they're going to do a shadow drop, I think that's pretty good. Come on, that artwork is good though, right? The artwork is pretty damn good. That's an official IGN artwork, by the way. This isn't some made up artwork. This is IGN promoting the article with PlayStation. Racing games will never win. Racing games will never, ever, 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 ever get nominated for Game of the Year. Ever. Ever. Show me a racing game in the last 10 years that won Game of the Year in a Game Awards. I'll go back 15 years if you want. Hell, I'll go back to PlayStation 3 era. There isn't a one. Why? 2 reasons. Number 1, racing games generally look graphically amazing. Why do they look graphically amazing? Because the amount of polygons on screen, there's just really nothing there. Racing games don't have the the articulation of really surrounding areas. Everything. Has Mario Kart 1? I don't think so. Have a look. But racing games generally look graphically amazing because the amount of polygons they can push on a car, which doesn't really do anything, is insane. Add to that, if you don't add any form of damage output to the vehicle and it stays pristine clean, GT7, then they can push it even further and add even more detail. Because the less that happens to the on-screen item, the more you can push it. It's why in cutscenes, when you have no physical control over the characters, the graphics, you notice a visual clarity increase. It increases because there's no physical input from the user anymore. The moment you take away that physical input, all that processing that's there goes straight to the fidelity of the game. And with racing games, for the most part, let's be realistic. Outside of the turnings and the brakings here and there, you're just holding a button. And the other thing is, racing games, unless you're a racing enthusiast, and I'm not shitting on anyone racing, because I used to love racing games. Back when we had Gran Turismo 1, Gran Turismo 2, Project Gotham Racing, I used to be all over racing games. V-Rally, Scud Race in the arcades, Daytona USA, Ridge Racer, especially the arcade games like Daytona, Ridge Racer, Scud Race, they were my jam. Sega Rally, I love them. I spent hundreds of hours in them. But in this day and age, unless with the way the games are coming out now, you don't get arcade racing games. And the ones that do come out, like Crew Fest or something like that, or the Need for Speeds, they add so much gunk to them, it becomes boring. You don't want the gunk, you just want a solid arcade racing game. Release it for $29.99 and let those people that love their Ridge Racers, their Sega Rallies be happy. That's all you want in this way. Cruising USA was good as well. Forza was supposed to be nominated, but they said it was supposed to be nominated because they knew it couldn't be nominated. But, as you say, but skip that next year for God of War, which released even later. Yes, exactly. The goalposts were moved for God of War, but no racing game really makes it into the Game of the Year. It just doesn't do it. Even though, realistically, Forza Horizon 5 was phenomenal. In the last, I'd say, 5 years, Horizon was probably the most I've ever played a racing game. I've actually played more Horizon 5 because I keep going back to it every so often. I don't play it a lot. I go back to it once every maybe 2-3 months. But I actually think Forza Horizon 5 is a better game than Forza Motorsport. I'm not a simulation person. I'm an arcade person. And Horizon is an arcade game. Even though they try to pass it off, people want to pass it off as a simulation, they can pass it off as whatever you want. When you see cars flying through rings and balloons and air balloons and rally trucks and shit like that, it's an arcade game. Sanch admits that's not entirely true. The head of IGN used to work for Sony. So, no matter how you put it, the dude has Sony in his DNA. Mario RPG, let's go! Horizon is more fun, Motorsport is more... Yeah, exactly, Steve. And I'm not a sim person. Now, give me a Sega Rally 4? My dude! I'm all over that jam. You know what I really want to see? Xbox release? Which should be super simple, right? Has any of you gone to the arcades and seen that Xbox Marines shooter that's so rigged it's designed to guzzle your money? Never play it. I promise you. Never play it. But has any one of you actually gone and seen that? It's actually really fun. if you've got like enough money to buy a house. I'm not talking about a Barbie doll's house. I'm talking about a fully blown house. Because you'll probably need it just to complete it. But I think they could really just get that, package it together, release it on the Xbox Arcade. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because my local arcade got it last year, and me and my kids sat down, and it's ridiculous. Like, there's almost no cover. The enemies are literally shooting at you constantly. There's no way to defend yourself. Even if you shoot them, there's no way to actually flinch them to stop shooting you. They're like brick walls. They just take it and fire back at you. My local bowling alley has like a huge section for arcades. They've got lots of stuff. I usually take the kids there for their birthdays, and they have a great time. I keep telling them let's play some bowling, but they see the arcades and want to play arcades. So I give each of them like, what, 20 quid each, and say, go to town. They come back to me 5 minutes later and say, Dad, please sir, can I have some more? And I'm like, you were gone for 5 minutes, man. What is happening? I think they're smart, trying to pocket the money and making me pay more. Damn fools. But this one is this is good, right? PlayStation Portal teardown video reveals underpowered chip, bad repairability, and more. They went as cheap as fork with this thing. They made sure that the chip is so shit in this because they knew people were going to jailbreak it and hack the fuck out of it. And they knew that people were going to try and get around that whole no browser shit because they've even got a browser working on there now. But it ain't running shit. That chip is so bad, it's just rubbish. Oh, Nate, I remember when I was a kid, I know this is going back years, my local fish and chippy had Final Fight. Oh man, we used to go in there, and it used to be 20p to just have one credit back then. Not the £2 they want now, but 20 pence. Man, back then, cans of Coke cost 20p. So Powerboss, basically, they did a complete teardown. In order for you to replace the battery on this thing, you have to remove the whole screen before you can get access to the backplate where the battery is. PlayStation Portal teardown reveals underpowered chip. J-Rock says, they got honey dick. You got a post up saying, you have to remove the entire screen to get to the internals. So where the screen is sitting on top, that physically has to come off, disconnected, and I think there's another film underneath that has to come off, and then you get access to the battery. So if your battery goes floozy on this in the future, that's basically trash material. This is why I said this thing should have been $129.99. But all these PlayStation fanboys out there that are, you know what? I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you something. Where is it? Where is it? Let me at him. Let me at him. Aha. Ah. Listen to that beautiful sound. All right, let's go. Yep, that will get started in just a second, and then I will show you what I'm doing. But this is incredible. This is incredible. How the hell are they getting away with this shit? I don't know. That's That's unbelievable that they can get away with this. And they know they can because there are so many idiots out there that will buy it. The lottery was a bust. Taz, I relied on you to help me. I thought you was gonna save me from the woes that I'm in right now. So, does anyone know what this is? What do you think of that, boys? It's a Steam Deck, and look! What dashboard am I on right now that I am actively moving without anything? You know what? There you go. Why on earth would I buy a PS Portal when I can do that on a greater PS Portal? And not only, right, is that you can get the cheapest model, which is gonna still be better than the PS Portal, right? I think the cheapest Steam Deck is like $100 more. But you get GeForce Now, you get Xbox xCloud, you get native PC gaming. Why would I want to buy a PS Portal when I can do this? Like, why? Why would I want to do that? I have my PS Portal, my Xbox Portal, my GeForce Now Portal, my xCloud Portal, everything right here, and I have nothing to worry about. It's a yikes situation for them. Let me just put my PlayStation to sleep. That dude tried to defend it like there's no tomorrow. You cannot defend it. You cannot defend it. You cannot defend that shit. You cannot defend it. But Taz, you let me down, man. You let me down. I thought you was my savior after my eviction notice. Dude, I relied on you. Now who am I going to rely on? You let me down, buddy. You let me down. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I just googled how much money does PlayStation pay IGN, and all I got was how much money PlayStation paid for Ox. But I heard most of IGN's ad revenue comes from PlayStation. I mean, the dude at the top of the pile has Sony affiliation. It kind of works back to front. Sony may be providing them with handouts, whether it's for revenue or whatever, but the bottom line is they're getting it in return with free publicity. That publicity through IGN, one of the biggest media outlets in the world when it comes to gaming, is, you know, the value benefit from that, just from like that Larian. Let me give you an example. I was speaking to a colleague today. Street Fighter 6 is available on Xbox, right? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm actually 100% sure it is. Cloud gaming bad, remote play good, pony logic? Yeah, that's just stupid. But one of my friends who was on, who's not really a friend, but it's a contractor I work with at work. And they turned around and said that they had no idea that Street Fighter 6 was available on Xbox. Now that is a huge problem. Right? That right there is a massive, massive problem. Why is it a problem? Yeah, it is available on Xbox. Just wanted to make sure. Why is it a problem? And he's actually a big Street Fighter fan. But he didn't buy it. He hasn't bought a Street Fighter since Street Fighter 4. Because 5 was exclusive to PlayStation, right? If I'm not mistaken. And he thought that 6 was exclusive to PlayStation again. There is no marketing from Microsoft. There is no advertising from Microsoft. We saw a bit of it with Starfield. But we saw almost nothing from Forza Motorsport. They need to advertise. They need to market these games. There's nothing out there. Now, if Sony have exclusive marketing rights, that's fair enough. But people aren't buying these games because they don't know they exist on the platform. So Microsoft needs to do better when it comes to advertising. But this whole underpowered bad chip, that's deliberately done to stop them from installing anything on there to make it run. Why is it when it comes to portable systems with PlayStation, they always botch them? When it comes to Sony and portable, look, I've got the PSP. The PSP was a great device. I loved it. The very first one was amazing. Then I got the PSV, and then they stopped supporting it, right? If you haven't played games like Metal Gear Acid, I highly recommend you check it out. If you don't have a PSP, just go down, just get an emulator or something. It'll work. But Acid is such a good game. You can't buy it anymore because you can't find it anywhere. But Metal Gear Acid was really good. It's a strategy-based Metal Gear Solid game. There are some really good games on there, but Sony doesn't support it. Then the Vita came out, and the Vita was supposed to be the remote play for PS4. It came out during the PS3 era. It came out a little early, but it had huge potential. But again, zero support from Sony. Then the PSVR 1 came out. It may have sold hundreds and thousands and millions. I don't give a fuck what it sold. Where's the support? The best game the PSVR 1 has is Astrobot Rescue Island. Because it's such a fun minigame, but it's a goddamn demo. The best game on there is a demo. Right? Fast forward to PSVR 2. Where's the support? I bought it day one. There is nothing on there. First party. They've got a couple of exclusive titles on there. There is no support when it comes to Sony with their third-party peripherals. And the reason why they went with the Portal in the way it is because they don't have to support it. The PS Portal was created for one reason and one function only. And that is to remote play within your home with the PS5, not outside your home. All the adverts I've seen with the PS Portal are inside the house. Now you can go outside your house and, pair it up with your phone and do it that way if you want to, but I don't even know how you can do that without a browser. It doesn't have a settings option if I'm not mistaken. It just kind of it has to have an IP. I guess it connects to your phone's IP and then you do it that way. But if you go to like a Starbucks or anything else where all of these companies, buildings have a legal requirement for you to accept their terms and conditions, you can't connect because it doesn't have a browser. So you can't use it outside. People that say you can, they're basically twisting it to the literal definition because you can connect it to your phone. But the thing was designed for Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi only. That's it. I still have a PSP 3000 series. Love it. I love playing with it still. I mean, I would too, but I use my PSP games now on my Steam Deck. It's just more convenient. Although I do have the OLED PS Vita, so I still have mine. Kinect had a lot of potential, and Kinect, in my opinion, if it was still sold with the Xbox and if Microsoft didn't cave in to not packaging it with the console, would have been really successful now. But the moment they made it an optional accessory, it's dead. And this is the problem when it comes to optional accessories. People will spend and buy a PlayStation console. People will spend and buy an Xbox console. They will, right? Because they're the mainline platforms. They will buy the next Nintendo Switch because it's a mainline console. If Capcom, Squaresoft, you know, or Square Enix as they're known now, or any other company is going to support the game, support the platforms, it is going to be an Xbox platform in terms of the home console, a Nintendo home console, or a PlayStation home console, or PC, of course. But let's just exclude PC for the time being. Now, when it comes to the handheld, because it's not attached with the console, the attach rate of handhelds is dangerous because they can fizzle out quite quickly. The market that owns a PlayStation Vita is really small compared to the market that owns a PS4. So as a publisher, are you going to make a game on a platform with 100 million users, or are you going to make a game for a platform with 10 million users? You're obviously going to go for the 100. So support for the 10 million dies instantly. And this is the fate that all the handhelds have. Now, when it comes to Nintendo, they seem to have broken that trend. Nintendo are the only ones that are immune from this. How? I don't know. I guess they just release quick pick up and play games, whatever it is. They have managed to kind of avoid this for the longest time. Sony just haven't found that rhythm to do it. And whether it's because they overpriced their hardware or what it is, I don't know. But this is why everyone wants an Xbox handheld. I don't think it needs one. I mean, it would be nice to have like a handheld Series S, I guess. That's as far as you're going to get in terms of an actual Xbox console. But stuff like the Asus Ally ROG, which runs PC Game Pass very well, and for the most part runs better than the Lenovo, even though the Lenovo is more powerful, that is sufficient. It's really, really good. You can buy hotspotting. You can, but hotspotting is terrible for gaming. Of course it's terrible. I'm not saying it's playable. I just said you can do that. I mean, I use xCloud on my Steam Deck. I was going to buy the Asus ROG this year, you know, this Black Friday, because it has actually gone down, at least for us in the UK, by £100. But after what Steam Deck did, I'm not falling for that anymore. I'm going to wait until they release an OLED version and then pick one up. Because I think what Steam did to their consumers is absolutely disgusting. They gave them 7 days notice that the OLED is dropping. 7 days. That's atrocious. You don't do that. And for all the goodwill that Steam has, for them to be able to do this to their customers is, in my opinion, a truly dick move. From what I've seen, Steve, on benchmarks, Lenovo need to, I mean, under 30 watt, Lenovo overtakes the ROG. But that also drinks your battery. The Lenovo also has the whole really weird FPS controller that you can use if you want to use your thing, which makes it stand out, which is really cool. But in terms of the 15 watt, which is, you know, where you want your battery to be, and the 20 watt, the actual ROG seems to perform better. It is drivers, so Lenovo just needs to release updated drivers. Don't forget, the Asus ROG has had 6 months ahead of it. So I'm sure the Lenovo in time will release a patch and a driver. Yeah, that's the one. But I'm sure the Lenovo will release an update. But right now, on the lower wattages from 12, 15, and 20, the ROG does outperform it. But at 30, the Lenovo pushes ahead. Jim Ryan is more a businessman than a gamer. That's why PS has more hardware than games. Yeah, but they do have more exclusives. And this is where Microsoft need to come in. You know, those Silent Hills, those Stellar Blades. These games they don't just need to come to Game Pass, they need to be exclusive to the Xbox platform. And this is where Microsoft need to really step up their game. Because these third-party exclusive titles, like the Final Fantasy VIIs, maybe you guys don't like them, but there is a huge portion of the gaming community that does like them. And does want them. And those games sell consoles. No matter how you want to sugarcoat it. Final Fantasy 16 sold consoles. 7 sold consoles. You know, Silent Hill 2 Remake will sell consoles. I mean, the fact that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, a 4 out of 10 game, is flooding the market with PlayStations being sold should tell you. Next year, we're going to see a huge rise with Call of Duty branding on Xbox consoles, and that should hopefully ship more consoles. But that needs to happen. Microsoft needs to start getting their hands dirty and getting these third-party exclusives and getting it done. They need to, because, and this is the sad reality, and it's the truth, and I know some of you may not like to hear this, but when a publisher looks at a console market platform, they don't care about the cloud. What they care about is how many consoles out there, how many consoles there are out there in the homes, because then that equates to direct sales. Now, if the game goes on to Game Pass, then they absolutely don't care where it goes, because at the end of the day, they're getting their money up front. But not every game will go to Game Pass. And so, in that regard, when you're looking at a platform, you say, right, as a publisher, that over there has 50 million consoles, that has 20 million. I've got more chance of making more money there than I have here. So, I'll make my game there. And this is a reality. This is why I know the whole ecosystem works in Microsoft's brand image, where it makes them look like the good guys, but they need to push the console. They need those console exclusives. They need those games on their platform to put them aside from everyone else. This has to happen. Phil needs to change this. Or now it's Sarah Bond. She needs to change this. She needs to go and get those third-party exclusive deals that will ship consoles. Get those marketing rights. Get the exclusivity rights and release the games. High quality AAA or quadruple A, whatever you want to call it. Stuff that will shift the console. Because that will in turn help the Xbox image. Because right now, everyone sees them as third party, even though they're not. Let's see what they're saying. Okay, cool. So it's mixed. My heart sank a little when you first mentioned it, lol. I spent ages deciding on which to buy. You should have asked me, dude. I've been researching this shit for years, even before they existed. I'm a fan of Legion though, phone and laptop. Yeah, my son had a Legion laptop, and he loved it until it broke itself. It just died. It had the white screen of death and died. And then he was like, so he got his money back from a refund from Computer Exchange finally, and he goes, right, time to build a PC. Went and bought a 3070 graphics card, used my old i7 processor, my old motherboard, stole 2 sticks of RAM from his brother's PC. Bought himself a cooler, and off he went with a brand new PC. I did like the way that he GTA'd his brother's RAM though. That was quite impressive. That was quite impressive how he just GTA'd, because my son had 32 gigs of RAM, and so he just opened his PC, GTA'd 2 8 gig sticks. Put back together. Following Video Games Awards, I feel the next Xbox and PlayStation show is going to be all telling for next year. It's going to be big, and it's Microsoft need exclusives. The Last of Us 2 Remastered is in January, just seen, and it's going to sell, right? Because that means that The Last of Us Season 2 is coming in January. As Jim Ryan said, right, at the end of it, he said that they tested to see if they could manipulate the PlayStation audience or the game, you know, the gaming community, to see if they would A, buy the game, or B, rebuy the game with the TV series in place. And through their statistics, it showed every episode that aired for The Last of Us showed a huge spike in sales straight after the episode aired for The Last of Us episode part 1. But I like the way how he openly admitted to manipulating the community. What's my opinion on day and date with PC? I think it hurts Xbox. I think it hurts Xbox a lot. Because at the end of the day, the PC, if you've got a powerful PC, those Xbox games that come along, you're always going to play them on PC. So when it comes to the first party games, you're not buying them. But you're not also playing them on the Xbox platform. You're playing them on PC. But that being said, I do like what Microsoft have done to try and alleviate that. I know some of you may not be aware of this, but there is something in there that kind of stops that being a major problem. So for those of you that don't know, Steam and Game Pass PC can't really talk. They can't communicate. If you have a game that's multiplayer, that's kind of platform specific, like let's say Exoprimal, for example. Exoprimal was platform specific in terms of being able to invite people into your platform, right? So if you're playing on PC, Steam, you can only invite people into your team that are on Steam. You can play cross-play with everyone, but if you're building a squad to play multiplayer, they have to be on the same platform. With PlayStation, it's only with PlayStation. With Xbox, because it's the Game Pass ecosystem and not the Xbox ecosystem, you can invite people that are on PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass. So it kind of uses both of those. But those people that are buying it on Steam, they are clearly eating away at the Xbox console sales. Those people that are buying it primarily on Steam are hurting the Xbox console sales. If you're buying it on Xbox Game Pass PC, or if you're playing it through Xbox Game Pass PC, then you are still supporting the Xbox platform. Whether it's through direct sales, through digital purchase, or it's through the Game Pass subscription, you're still supporting the console itself. You're still supporting the platform. But when you're going to Steam, you're not fully supporting it anymore because Gabe is taking 30% of that money. So it's a much bit of a grey area in my opinion. There's no reason not to. What was that? Me, I'll wait and see what other people are doing in the game. Which game is this? What's that? The thing about Sony games is that they are starting to be ported to PC. PC players will wait for the release. They just don't like people spoiling certain things in the time between. I mean, that's you can't really do anything about that. Considering the games will take 2 years, it's gonna get spoiled. You can't stop people talking about it. Me, I'll wait and see what happens. Also, generally, the PS ports are the PC ports generally are quite bad. So if you want to play the game in its perfect form, even if you have a $3.5-4 grand PC, in theory, the PlayStation games will still run worse than the PlayStation 5. Ratchet and Clank is, Rift Apart is a perfect example of that. It works on PC, it works with the NVMe, but it is not as seamless as the PlayStation. The loading on the PlayStation is instant. Absolutely, there is no delay between it. The loading on PC, even with a 4090 and at the time a 12900 CPU, there was still loading in between, and it was still slower than the PS5's dual channel SSD. It's just one of those things. So if you want to play the best version of it, like the most complete version, the PC ports just aren't there yet. The Sony Studios PC department is just pretty bad. Exactly, Xbox should get third-party exclusives. They have the money and console, cloud, and PC to play them on day one release. I mean, even if let me ask you this. Let's say, for example, how many of you are interested in Silent Hill? Open question. I play PC and Series X, but mostly PC because I like 4K Max settings. Exactly. But that's fine. But the point I'm making, Sench, is if it wasn't available on PC, you would have been playing it on Xbox. Six months is too long. But I think a delay of 3 months for Steam should do it. I'd love to see a game like WoW come to console. WoW will come to console. They have been working on integrating controller with my... They have been working on integrating controller, which my boyfriend plays with, and it's close enough to invite console players. Yeah. If that game was not on Game Pass, would you buy it? If Microsoft bought the exclusive rights to it, but it's not going to be on Game Pass, would you buy it? I'm too scared to play Silent Hill. It wasn't just for exclusivity, Seppo. It was because they bought ZeniMax. And there was talks already of the game being exclusive to PlayStation 5. And then it got ripped from them. So, you know, like Dan Stapleton, he was jerking off to, in his, you know, with his sock, to the fact that Starfield was going to be exclusive to PlayStation. And when it became knowledge that Microsoft are buying ZeniMax, he got a bit upset and probably hurt his penis while he was doing it. But if Microsoft... I mean, we're just talking about first-party games here. People are still trying to wrap their heads around the fact that ZeniMax now is a first-party company. They can see it however they want. It's a first-party studio. ABK is a first-party studio, and you're going to be seeing a lot of games coming from ABK that are going to be exclusive to Xbox. But I'm talking about games. What is that? What are you? I don't even know what it is, but it's dead. They need those third-party exclusives, not just the first party ones. And just going out and buying the studios isn't the same. I think they've bought two massive studios, which is going to help them a lot in terms of delivering quality and quantity over to the Game Pass. But now what they need is to push the console. And the only way you're going to do that is with third party games exclusive to the console that's not on Game Pass. Exclusive games that aren't on Game Pass, that can only be played on Xbox, that will push it. But that's what you need. I would have tried braving Silent Hill if Konami had kept Kojima. I mean, I want to play the new Silent Hill too. It'll be interesting to see what the remake looks like. Remake should be no more than $50 and I would buy it. 100% Sench. 100%. I agree with that. I think remake shouldn't be more than a certain value. However, I will say this, right? If you are remaking a Sega Saturn game, or a PlayStation 1 game, or even a PlayStation 2 game, and I don't know, I guess Dreamcast is borderline, I guess. I think at that point, it goes beyond a remake and a remaster, because you pretty much have to redo every single asset in that game. Everything has to be redone. But when you're looking at a game like The Last of Us Part 2, which looks phenomenally amazing already, that game didn't need a remake. I would love to see Sony saying we have no games, we're going to buy Xbox games for PlayStation Plus, and Starfield is the first one. I mean, the moment Starfield... I mean, just look at it. Red Dragon is still talking about Starfield. My dude goes to bed thinking about Starfield, wakes up in the morning thinking about Starfield, sits down with his kid speaking about Starfield, He's, when he's having sex with his wife, he's screaming Starfield. My dude is driving in his car to wherever he needs to go, head jamming to Starfield. He's got Starfield living in his whole life. And that only tells you one thing, and one thing only. My dude is so salty that he didn't get Starfield that it's mentally deranging him. You see all these people that constantly refer to Starfield, and the only reason they're referring to Starfield as a bad game or as a flop or as this and that is to try and reassure themselves, try to give themselves that same that sense of justice that by not having this game they did good. But the reality is they are hurting, they are salty, they are sad, and they are jealous that they don't have it, and they want it. And the more that they bash on it, the more they try to bring it down, it only just shows that all they can talk about is Starfield. You never see them talking about Spider-Man 2. That game came and left like it didn't exist. But when it comes to Starfield, they can't take it out of their mouth. It's like they're sucking on it 24/7. Do you think PlayStation first-party games will eventually go day and date on PC? No. Not unless they have a drastic change. Actually, that's not true, because I think the next console generation will probably... We've either got one max or two... we've got one or two max console generations left. After the next two, I'd say, everything is going to go to the cloud. Consoles will disappear. That's the way I see it going based on the current trend. Consoles will disappear. At that point, it's all going to be a service. So whether it's on PC or anywhere, it won't really matter at that point because it's going to be available to everyone. I think PC hardware will probably be the only thing that's left, but I think consoles are going to migrate to cloud within the next 10 years. I have to bring up a point about subscription-based services. They really are not sustainable on their own. There has to be either a bigger cost to it or have it subsidized to keep it viable. I mean, Microsoft are making over $3 billion a year just from Game Pass. It's a lot of money. And that was last year when they had no games that came out. And by no games, I mean no exclusives. I mean, you might want to, if you're going to count Pentiment, go ahead. But they really had almost nothing that came out, and they made $3 billion. This year they had Starfield, Forza Motorsport, a couple of others, Hi-Fi Rush. I'm expecting that to be around $4 billion this year. They're making money. It just depends how much they're spending. But they will never announce that, so we really can't really give an accurate figure on that. Microsoft getting third-party exclusivity, I think, is difficult due to player base is a lot lower than PSN. That's the problem, but the only way you're going to actually make that increase is if you actually get those exclusives. You just have to pay for it. I mean, they just spent $70 billion, for God's sake. They've got money. I mean, they're not an indie, a small indie company that's going to look around and say, hey, I need more money. They're not going to do that. They've got money. They can do it. If they really want to do it, they can do it. The companies want to maximize on potential profit, which, as much as I hate, is on PlayStation. It is on PlayStation, but that's where you offer them an offer that they can't refuse. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy coming onto Game Pass cost them $50 million. I think that was a bit too much. I don't think that game is worth that much for Game Pass, but that's how much they paid for it. $50 million. I'm not saying they have to pay that much money, but they just need to find the right balance. Have you seen the post about Starfield dropping to 14th place? Most purchased games where Spider-Man has jumped to 4th? I have, but why is that a surprise? At the end of the day, if you've got a game on Game Pass and Game Pass PC, you are cannibalizing your sales. End of story. You are cannibalizing your sales. All those people that bought Starfield, well, are playing Starfield, if 50% of those people actually purchased it that are playing it on Game Pass, they would be up there in the top 5. If 100% of them bought it, they'd be number one. We're talking 11 million players here. And by now, that's probably around 12, 13 million. Once it hits 15 million, they're going to get their next milestone picture out. But assuming they're on like 13 million right now, players that have either tried it or played it properly, even if you take half of that, that's 7 million. That eclipses Spider-Man, God of War, and everything that's on that list. But the fact that it's available on Game Pass, the fact that it's available on Game Pass PC, and the fact that it's still in the top 20 is amazing. It's losing its sales portions to 2 different avenues. And it's still maintaining a top 20. Just think about that for a second. How many games in that list can say that they have lost 2/3 of their sales and are still in the top 20? To me, that's a great achievement. Let's see. Day and date, nah, but I definitely see them coming to PC sooner in a couple of years. I kind of believe the tech in what we call a console will change. I mean, consoles are now PCs. That's all they are. They're just customized PCs now. If Sony first-party games sell more on PC, won't Sony have to cater to the PC gamers first? That's an interesting one. I think Sony is so arrogant that they'll still cater to their console consumers. We're going to see it all coverage, cloud, PC, and console will be on the same. One and the same. Yeah. Man, left out Redfall. Gotta say, loving it. I'm really enjoying Redfall. But my question, who was it I was speaking to? I think it was to Lion I was talking to today. And I'm going to pose this question. I mean, this was in our the interview we had today. So a bit of an insight, because Game Pass did come up. So seriously, when the interview comes out, do check it out. It was a lot of fun. But my question to all of you, right, is this. If Redfall wasn't going to Game Pass, would Microsoft have released it? That's the question. That's the question. And I want your honest answers. In fact, can I do this? Before you answer, let me see if I can do this. Can I do this? Let's do this. There you go. I got a poll. Let the poll do the talking. Wish they would add a third-person option for Redfall. My point was, it literally states at the bottom, digital downloads are not included. What force, how boss? Maybe I missed what you're saying. Oh, and how's it going, Infurious? Welcome to the channel. I was more considering the payout for third-party games with little to no consideration to the bottom line of the first-party games. I could have jumped the gun on the overall thought. That's generally how Sony fans think. They expect every Xbox game to fail. Of course they do, and they want it to fail. Highly doubtful. If Microsoft... I mean, 57% of you thinking yes, you're ludicrous. If Microsoft hadn't bought the company and released it, would Redfall have come out as bad as it did? I mean, that's not... I guess that's part of the question that I've got here. Yes, they would have released it. There's only so long you can delay things. They're constantly losing money. I'm going to get back to you, Steve, because I think you're wrong. I think you are 100% wrong there. Sapo, they said over and over again, yet Sony can't kill Xbox. Yes, because they didn't even try Redfall until late in development cycle. They had no idea was releasing on console. That's not true, because Phil Spencer was actually trying it when the content creators went over to try it out. So they had visibility. They were completely blindsided by Redfall, partially, not fully. And don't forget, for the game to go onto Game Pass, it has to pass Microsoft certification. That game will have gone to Microsoft certification. It would have gone past their QA. Their QA would have signed it off, and it would have gone live. I can explain a little more in depth how the certification process works, because I've worked in the gaming industry QA. I know how it works. Let me just finish these last two comments. About the Spider-Man 2 jumping to 4th and Starfield dropping to 14th, it says at the bottom, digital sales and Game Pass are not included. But, I mean, how do you how can you quantify Game Pass sales? You can't really quantify Game Pass sales. How much of that subscription money is going towards Starfield? It's really difficult. Now, what Microsoft need to do is turn around and say, hey, a week before Starfield dropped, we had 29 million subscribers. 2 weeks after Starfield dropped, we got 33 million subscribers. That is 4 million new subscribers. That is 4 million new people, even if it is for that 1 month, that paid $11.99. That's a lot of money. So if we're looking at the actual cost of that, right? If we're looking at the cost of that, $11.99 is the price in the UK, by the way, not in the US. We are looking at revenue made almost £50 million, right? And that's crazy. In a month. That's how much extra revenue that they would have got from that, from people subscribing to Game Pass. And now, if half of those decided to go away, and half of them decided, you know what, we're liking this Game Pass service, that's really great. That's an extra 25 million a month extra revenue that's coming on top of what they're already making, thanks to Starfield. That is 25 million extra every month. That's a lot of money. Now, when you get 2-3 games coming out, and that brings in triple that number, happy days. And even if half of them fall off, you're still making 75 million a month. It's good money. The Game Pass model works, but you just need the quality behind it. Oh no, what did I do? What did I do? There we go. I think they would have waited, because if they pushed it to fall this year, it would have been competing with... I think they would have waited, because if they pushed it to fall of this year, it would have been competing with Starfield, and that is a big no. So it would have been best to release it when it did, or release it for Christmas. I think Christmas time is fine. You've got a game coming out in September, and then you've got another one coming out in December. There's nothing wrong with that. They're totally different games. They're not really competing with each other. And being on Game Pass, who cares, right? The game is dropping on Game Pass. Whether you're playing it on... I mean, it gives you even more reason to subscribe to Game Pass. The only thing we know is Starfield's launch, it jumped up 5-6 million subscribers. Has that officially been confirmed? Starfield is a long-term investment, and the reason Microsoft won't go movie-driven games. Those games are short-term. They are short-term, but they sell. They sell an enormous amount of consoles, and that's what you want. They need that. Hey, Susano. So here's my opinion, and I see that the community is split on this, and that is fine. In my opinion, they would not have released it. Not in that state. Now, how does the review process work? the certification process, because Arca Senders recently just failed, right? So what happens is Sony and Microsoft, well, the publishers, like whoever's making Arc, or let's just say ZeniMax, if they were third party, would pay Microsoft money and say, right, we need to push this through certification. And so there's 2 tiers of certification that goes through. There's the fast track, which is 3 days, and then there's a normal one, which is 5 days, where Microsoft internally or Sony internally QA the game and make sure that, you know, the logos are in the right place, the game works, you can complete the game, it functions to specification, the game isn't broken, Cyberpunk, I'll get to that in a minute. And a few, you know, basically generally making sure that the game works. Now, when I worked in Sega, for example, one of the games I worked on, I refused to sign it off. It's why I someone in Sega who's still there actually, they're not very fond of me because when the day came to sign it off, I just went home because I wasn't going to sign it off and I wasn't going to be forced to sign it off because the game wasn't ready. But they didn't care because the head of the UK of Sega at the time, probably changed now, he contacted Sony and he must have used every favor under the sun from his black book to get them to push that through, while because it 100% failed submission, but they pushed it through for an April release for the PSP. But he must have used every favor he's got under the sun for that. If it doesn't pass certification, it can't come out. If it passes certification, then Microsoft and Sony are basically telling you that this game is good enough. It's in a good state to release. Now with CDPR Red, CDPR Red, they turned around and promised Sony and Microsoft that even though the standard console version, the Xbox One and the PS4 versions were bad, they gave them their word that it would be fixed for launch. And so Microsoft and Sony passed that based on that promise. The game was broken when Microsoft and Sony, and they would have failed it. But in order for it to go gold, with the day one patch, they promised it would fix. And they didn't. They didn't live up to their word. And that's why both Microsoft and Sony had egg on their face. Now my question is, who's to blame here? CDPR for trying a fast one? Or for the last line of defense failing to say no? In my opinion, it's Xbox and PlayStation. They are the last line of defense. QA is the last line of defense. I work in QA as a living. We are the last line of defense. If we say, I don't pass anything in my job right now that I don't feel is right, and if the project managers want to pass it and waive it, I give them the option, but I make it perfectly clear that I'm failing it. So any issues that come about from that, it's their responsibility, not mine. Let's see. A good example of game series that has a massive following and it seems to have less gameplay than the story plot is Metal Gear Solid. Oh, I love Metal Gear Solid. I wish they made a new one. I loved Metal Gear Solid 4. That was beautiful. Game Pass has spoiled most people. Some people just want games on Game Pass. If it's not, then they aren't interested. That is very true. That is very true. I use Game Pass to play games I would never have played, for example, Vampire Survivors. I've found so many indie games like Cocoon I would never have touched, but it's phenomenal. Definitely check it out. It's on Game Pass. I use Game Pass to see if a game is worth buying. While Xvault trying to tell me panel's opinions different than my own, and does this affect my enjoyment of said games? No. Then it's time to move on. This is beyond petty. Xvault, look, Xvault is the elevator guy. Just he's the guy that basically turned around to me that he works in an elevator that goes up and down. It's got a little office in there with a little flower pot. You don't want to mess with the elevator guy. That was in response to me questioning. And when I actually asked him if what he said was true, just to confirm, he blocked me as well. Game Pass didn't spoil me because I still find myself buying games and I have free gaming services. I'm about to count my reward points to count. Nice. Hey, Sephi Zero. How's it going, buddy? He's supposedly a teacher. No, he's not. He works in a hospital. At least that's what he told me. He works in a hospital. Look, this is what he told me, right? And this is what this is how it went when he blocked me. He turned around and said, I said, how are you messaging all day when you're at work? And so he said, I message every time I'm in the elevator. And then he spent the next 3 hours, I checked his timeline, posting every other minute. So I asked him, do you work in an elevator? Do you have like an office in there with a table and a thing? And he said, no. And I said, well, you just said you work, you only message, you only tweet out when you're in an elevator. So if you're tweeting out every other minute, you're gonna be in an elevator, right? I'm not the only one that's putting 2 and 2 together, am I? And so I started calling him the elevator guy. And he blocked me. I use Game Pass because I like to try out new games. Game Pass is fantastic for that. Okay, so going back to the statement earlier, how would they not lose money keeping a game delayed? Okay, and now we're back on that. Cool. Redfall coming out has caused so much brand damage that the money they would have lost, they've lost even more now. Reputation in the games industry is a big thing, and Arcane Studios isn't your run-of-the-mill, studio. They're not just some crappy third-party studio that just delivers the odd few game here and there. They're a really big studio that delivers really good games. So not only has the reputation of Arcane Studios gone to shit, but that game, despite all the hype, all the vlogs, all the content creators saying how amazing it was, came out broken as hell. How do you trust a company like that? How do you trust the content creators like that? The brand, the damage on its own is more damaging than the money they would have lost having delayed it. If that game came out with 60 FPS and was fixed with the current way it's fixed right now, even if it didn't get a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, it would have still got a 6. It would still have gotten a 7.5, 8, or an 8.5 out of 10. Better than the 5 out of 10 it's got now, right? It may have got an 8 out of 10, which is fine. That's a good rating. I don't know why people say 8 out of 10 is bad, but 8 out of 10 is a good rating. It's a good game. But by releasing it in the way they did, they give that mental image that it's good enough for Game Pass, and that's not the image you want. You want to be delivering high quality games for Game Pass. You want to make sure that those people that are paying for their subscription are getting high quality products, not broken shit. And Redfall was broken, and they knew it was broken because their certification department would have told them it's broken. They would have failed it. Anyone with an inkling of QA knowledge would have told them it was broken. And they still, Microsoft Game Studios still chose to put it on their platform. It doesn't give the right message. It doesn't give the right reputation. And they need to fix that. And if they need to delay it, even if they need to delay it to the following year, look at the game Alone in the Dark. Alone in the Dark is a niche game. I've been a huge fan of Alone in the Dark for a long time when I used to play it on PlayStation, right? I'm looking forward to the game. They looked at the schedule right now and said, hey, look, you've got this game coming out in September, Starfield. Then you've got Baldur's Gate. Then you've got, Alan Wake. Then you've got Spider-Man. They said, you know what? Screw this. We're just going to release it in January, where there's no games. They're not releasing it in February because Final Fantasy VII is there. So they're releasing it in January where it's not busy. That's the smart play. They're willing to take a delayed hit to make sure they give their game the best chance. Now let's rewind back a little bit and look at a game that screwed up royally. Horizon Forbidden West. Sony thought that Horizon Forbidden West, which is a great game by the way, could compete with Elden Ring. Wah, wah. I think they found out the hard way how big that bitch slut was, because they realized real quick, real fast, that they're not competing with Elden Ring, and they completely murdered their own sales of Horizon Forbidden West. And the sales from that game suffered badly because everyone was going to Elden Ring. Everyone wanted Elden Ring. No one even talked about Forbidden West. Let's see. Yeah, but if Sony thinks Microsoft will certify a game, doesn't that put pressure on them to certify the game and vice versa? No, at the end of the day, it's down to Sony and Microsoft if they want to certify it. Right? It's down to them if they want to certify it. And they have to make sure that they are adhering to the standards. If they don't, like, I blame Sony and Microsoft for CDPR for Cyberpunk 2077. I know this because I work in the industry, or worked in the industry. I know how it works. The average Joe, though, is going to go and blame CDPR Red. But anyone with the know-how will tell you that the buck stops with the platform. They are the last line of defense. Lol, I was tempted to host my own X space and bring in people into discuss games for gamers by gamers. Hey, I'd join that. I didn't say everyone at Seppo. I see it all the time on X. I will wait. I mean, I see it so many times. Like you see like Peter Ovo, for example. He's capping over Modern Warfare 3, and when someone asks him, "Have you bought it?" "No, I'm going to wait for Game Pass." I mean, that just sums it up, right? I will wait for it to come to Game Pass, or it is coming to Game Pass. If not, then I'm not interested. I see that a lot. They completely changed the story of the Redfall so it can look like a typical looter shooter. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually going to stream it sometime. I'm going to do it in multiplayer because solo was difficult. Understood. I was thinking... There you go, Steve. I mean, I've got dev background within the games industry, and I speak to a lot of devs, so I guess I have a clearer picture of what the impact is as opposed to just on surface level. I enjoyed Redfall when it came out. Great story, just had some issues and didn't like the 30 FPS. At least it's 60 FPS now. Development hell is a real place where games go to die. Look at Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2 is a good game. It just came out at a bad time. That was kind of a surprise. What was Susano? I'm enjoying Dead Island 2. I had it on pre-order way back when it was originally supposed to launch in 2015. I've actually got Dead Island 2. I'm about 3/4 of the way through the game. I need to finish it because I want to play the DLC. Elden Ring was a unicorn. It completely derailed the entire gaming conversation. It derailed the gaming universe, more likely. It had everyone talking about Elden Ring. I mean, it was crazy. It was a wondrous time. Look, fun fact. My son usually plays games for a little while, right? And I've never seen him that engrossed in a game the way I saw him with Elden Ring. That game took over his life. It was ridiculous. He was all over. I think he had like 9 characters by the end of his time with it. He got his money's worth, like real good. And now he's living the life of Lies of P, which is also Game Pass Day 1 right now. It's a good game. If you like Elden Ring, check it out. I found out the hard way to host a space. It has to be started by a phone, so I reinstalled BlueStacks to do it. Just kind of wish I jumped on that pre-order for Dead Island 2. It was like $5 at one point. Assumed it would never get made. Or worse, turn it into Scalebound. Apparently that's coming back, right? Main issue with testing of games. Testing of the games I tested never released. Finished games sometimes. I mean, everything I worked on released, but I worked for, Square Enix. I worked for Sega and a few others. Assuming it's due to tax write-offs or something, but don't know much about end of things. Like for example, one of the games that I worked on, if it didn't release by the 30th of April, they would lose $3 million for that financial year, or 3 million euros. So that is why they pushed it through, even though it wasn't ready. And even to this day, there is a bug in that game that I can 100% reproduce, which I'm not going to say. Don't even go there, chat. But there is a 100% bug in there that will completely screw your game up. And there is also another bug in there that is so bad that it eventually pushes your whole screen off screen, that it's unrecoverable. And with the autosave, it means your save is gone. But the chances of you reproducing that bug are less than 1 in a million. But I still found it because I'm great at QA. Yeah, I'm gonna big myself up because that was an amazing find. Even the developers were impressed with how good that bug find was. But if Sony doesn't certify a game and Microsoft does, won't Sony be worried people will jump and buy an Xbox console and vice versa? Potentially. I mean, if you think if Xbox doesn't certify it and PlayStation does, and the game is beyond broken, that's just gonna do bad things for Sony. I didn't even know the DLC for Dead Island 2 came out already. I think it has, yeah. I think the DLC is about 6 hours long. Taz completed it already. What a beast. Hope you remember the little guy here when you play Redfall co-op. I'll be happy to join. Yeah, of course, dude. Of course. I said that on Twitter. Just reach out to me on Discord so I've got you. That's for Power Boss. Having too much fun playing Starfield now, Mario RPG and Sea of Stars. Yeah, I want to start playing Sea of Stars. I'm going to play on my Steam Deck. How much Xbox paying you for the shameless plug? What shameless plug? I don't know what you're talking about. They're on Game Pass, by the way. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's $11.99 in the UK. You can also get it free via BT Telecommunications. But no, I don't know what you're talking about, Seth. Jesus. You know, Lies of P is a great game. Day one Game Pass. My son who plays Roblox and Roblox was asking me about it. Which I did get Elder equals wrong in my credit. In 2 days, I'll try again someday. At Girl's house, the news is going well. We kind of derailed a little bit. But yeah, let's see what else we've got here. Ah, yes. The PlayStation Portal. IGN gave it a whopping 8 out of 10. But they gave my masterful Steam Deck, which does exactly the same thing, which is only $100 more, a 7 out of 10. You can't make this shit up, man. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. This is ludicrous. Don't forget, on my Steam Deck for $100 more, I can remote play into the PlayStation, to my Xbox. I can remote play into my PC if I really want to, if I want to utilize the power of my own PC. I can stream xCloud. I can stream PlayStation Premium. Yes, you can do that. I've tried it. It works perfectly. I can stream GeForce Now. I can even stream Prime gaming games from Amazon Luna. Yeah. I can do that too. I mean, within these little handheld PCs, especially the Steam Deck at $350 starting price, it's insane. And if you don't want the whole native installing of games, Logitech G Cloud is the same price. It's probably going to be reduced soon to try and price the Portal out of its market. It blows my mind. Let's see. Here we got Mr. Toe. Can we stop? Hogwarts Legacy didn't get nominated for the same reason Starfield didn't. It was a good game, just not as good as the other 6. So, let's make this clear that Mr. Toe has admitted that Starfield is a good game. right? And K Mega says Hogwarts got snubbed because of the controversy, but didn't The Last of Us 2 have controversy as well, but got nominated for the VGAs? Correct, it did. But Hogwarts Legacy got converted because the controversy surrounding it was a bit bigger than two girls kissing. But when you've got Puerto Rock actually disagreeing with, you know, Mr. Toe, then you have a problem, right? Then you know that there's a problem there. Not so much Game of the Year, because that was obvious. And I can admit, you know, I can agree that maybe Hogwarts Legacy didn't get Game of the Year, but not a single nomination, graphics, sound, music, anything? Anything? And he's trying to say that it wasn't good enough. My dude, this game has still had 800 concurrent players. It had more concurrent players than Baldur's Gate 3. It was one of the biggest sellers of all time. How can it not get a nomination? But you know why it didn't get a nomination? And I know this may trigger some people, not trigger some people, but because they were scared about the J.K. Rowling trans situation. That's it. They didn't want to deal with the backlash. Now, that tells me that this show is full garbage. It's not worth anything. If you are gonna remove games from the list based on political reasons, even if they deserve to be there, then that award show is worth nothing. The trophies that they earn are worth nothing. You've literally cheapened it out to the point where it's worth nothing. Yeah, Spider-Man gets like 7 nominations. Yeah. And the amount of stuff in there is ridiculous, right? But there was no negatives for them removing anything that was diverse related when it went to Saudi Arabia. I mean, I think Angry Joe actually got it right with the review. You know, they actually had a skit in there where they were talking about all the diverse culture with the things. And you had Alex there basically saying, right, yeah, no, take it all out. Everything, all of it out. Take it all out. Of course, we like money. All we care about is money. It's okay in the Western worlds because they like that shit, so keep it in there. It sells. But over at the KSA, take it out right now. We don't want it. We like money more than we like being morally right. And I think, yeah, they made a joke of it, but they were spot on. For all the talk that these companies do regarding pride and everything else, the moment it comes to hitting their bottom line, they jump ship and do not give a shit. Look at the likes of BMW. On Pride Day, they changed their logo. But look at any country that isn't in favor of that community. They don't put a single thing up. Why? Because it'll hit their bottom line. At the end of the day, it's always about money. And the reason why these companies like Bungie pander towards diversity is because it sells. I mean, look at how bad Spider-Man is, right? Just look at how bad Spider-Man is towards Mexicans, towards the Spanish culture, right? So in the Spanish language, when you're referring to a male and a female, you have either UN or UNA. The UNA is referred to female, una, whereas un is referred to a male. But in Spider-Man, they put UNX. It doesn't exist in the fucking language. Yet the Western culture is trying to tell the Spanish community how to do their language. How disrespectful and disgusting is that? If they don't have it in their language and they've had it and they don't want it, who are you to try and force feed them their own language? But the moment that, that high ground, and they were like, well, we are high ground. But the moment money came involved, they stripped that shit out instantly. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, companies shouldn't be representing. That's not the point I'm making. But if you're going to represent, fucking represent. Don't have double standards. Don't cave in the moment it's going to affect your bottom line, because then that just shows you're a waste of space as a company. You're not a company that stands on your morals. You're not a studio or a community that stands by the people that you're saying you're supposed to be standing by. That's what I'm saying. Was buggier than Redfall and Starfield combined? I mean, it had bugs. What did I say that was lies about Hogwarts? I said even if it didn't deserve a Game of the Year, it was amazing. It deserved at least a nomination. Right? What to reach, Seth? Nothing wrong with two girls kissing. I see it all the time on Pornhub. My God. Tend to ignore awards for the whole host of reasons like that. I mean, it's just sad. It makes it cheap. I hope you... Oh, that's right, Josh. You wasn't actually feeling well the last time you came into my Twitch stream. I hope you are feeling well, dude. Seriously. You had a bad cough and you had headaches and stuff, so I do hope you feel better. Political stances of judging the actual game for its merits. Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 was mostly PC, yet everyone is voting for it. Of course. Lords of Fallen is probably one of the greatest reasons to ignore most professional reviewers. Wasn't that game really bad performance when it came out though? I mean, I saw the PS5, the game running on PS5. I mean, the Series S was beyond a joke. I think it was dropping down to like 5 frames per second. How that even released is, I don't even understand. But again, this just shows how companies are trying to push forward with Unreal Engine 5 and they just cannot do it. They're not ready yet. They've even added a freaking transfer PC in the game as form of protest to Rowling's opinions. You know, but if you're gonna do that for Spider-Man, do it. I mean, for Hogwarts. But if Hogwarts released around the world, which it did, they're not gonna take that stuff out. They kept it, and that's why I respect Avalanche. Right? They did everything right with that game. And they made sure that the contract that they had, they paid Rowling a one-off fee, and that was it. Everything else went to the publisher and the studio. There was no royalties there outside of the publicity that Harry Potter got. Except Angry Joe, despite being critical and calling them out on their bullshit. But I think overall, an 8 was fair. It's what I gave the game. I don't think it deserved a 9. I think it missed out on a 9 basically because of the bugs. I think some of the storytelling was cliche. I also think the skill tree was not very... The skill tree was okay, I guess, but it was the gadget skill tree that pissed me off. They forced me to do side quests in order to be able to level them up. Just give me enough materials by following the main campaign to at least level up half of them. I mean, if you watch my review of Spider-Man, you'll see how critical I was. I wanted to give it a little higher, but there were so many things wrong with it. I think an 8 is about right. Tell that to Man City over the last 10 years. There's no way anyone with a legitimate view of the engine and gaming mechanics would have rated it high. Chaos that makes sense, but in way it don't, because if J.K. Rowling realized that Hogwarts Legacy wasn't developed, she would have tried to get in, blocked back, and then see. I mean, I don't get that. You might need to reword it. I'm not triggered. I'm just saying I don't like double standards. Those ends I understand better. Tax write-offs for sure. You get money in the US as well promoting noise. We have more experience with it in the music than games, but it works the same. Exactly the same as that, Sanchez. I don't want this to get into any trans bashing or anything, please. None of that. I don't want none of that in the chat. And for Spider-Man, you have people wishing they had the Iranian version because they don't want anything represented in it. I mean, when you release two different versions of the game, it's bad. It's bad because at that point you're basically saying we value money over human rights. Used to be graphics designer, by the way. There's regulations that get in the way of store sales. Yep. Kissing used to be a no-go in Yellow Page ads. You run into all kinds of idiotic regulations. Oh, I've seen some of them. Chaos, what do you happen today, like news-wise? We've seen that the PlayStation Portal has had really bad chipsets, really poor. We've seen that IGN are still out there promoting Baldur's Gate 3 for PlayStation only and have ignored Xbox entirely, even though it's coming on Xbox. And as you can see here, the industry Hogwarts got snubbed because of the controversy surrounding it. Next minute, we don't allow our personal feelings, biases, or controversies affect our decisions. We judge every game on its merits alone. And yet, Hogwarts Legacy was snubbed for that very reason. We won't get political with our nominations unless it's political. Why wasn't Spider-Man 2 held to the same standard? Because they are cowards. I mean, after all, Spider-Man removed it, right? There are two versions of the game. That's controversial in itself. It's not reportedly, it is censored in Saudi Arabia. I mean, if they didn't, it wouldn't sell at all. I mean, let's make that point very clear. It wouldn't sell at all. TheChaosLounge sent you an interesting post on Discord. All right, I'll check it out now. You run into all kinds of... Let's see. Destiny 2's DLCs are on offer for Black Friday. I don't recommend it for new players. I mean, Destiny is very expensive to get into. Lords is funny as hell on PS5 right now. Last patch, bro. What meant in that Hogwarts post, surely if J.K. Rowling knew that Hogwarts Legacy was in development, I didn't realize she was already getting paid back. No, she knew it was in development. They have to get her permission to make it, right? Because she owns the rights to Harry Potter. But instead of doing it on, you know, like when you go buy a Harry Potter book, every book that sells, she gets royalties. Every time there's a movie, she gets money, and then from every ticket that's sold, she gets royalties. With this game, they just made it so she gets a one-off payment for the rights, and that's it. There is no royalties. So Avalanche did everything they possibly could to try and avoid controversy. Yeah, at the time of Hogwarts Legacy's release, I had people contacting me that I didn't know, threatening to get my channels deleted if I played it, threatened me that they would get me cancelled, threatened that they would do X, Y, and Z. They threatened that they would dox me. They threatened that they would get my YouTube channel deleted. They threatened they would do all sorts of things. Because I said on a stream at one point that I wanted to play it and I was excited to play it. And someone heard that on stream, and that one of these crazies know, because that's what they are, and it spiraled out of control. I was bullied into not playing it online. But socially, that is acceptable. The social community out there thinks that is perfectly acceptable. If JK didn't get paid, surely JK Rowling would have tried to get the game cancelled. No, she did get paid. She got paid a lump sum, just no royalties. Even with my IP, I would hope a game dev would come to me before making it. Exactly. This is a no-go speaking points, by the way. Why am I not in activation? Like, you play the game, not speaking about the video games here, or you don't work. Only way around it is contracting, but no one generally knows who they are. You are. Yep. Give me a second, chat. I just need to use the restroom. I know someone sent me something on Discord. Give me a sec. I'm not mute. You're just you're just hard of hearing. All right. Hey, Oreo, what are you doing? Something not right when your cat looks at you or your kitten, and he's having a good time with a teddy. I ain't muted no more. I'm not muted. Diablo. Because Mario Wonder for hours today, played it, and the gaming media is a joke. Armored Core 6, 16, Hi-Fi Rush, Starfield, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Diablo 4, Hogwarts Legacy, Sea of Stars, Lies of P, Dead Space are all better games. This is literally just 2D Mario and you can't convince me otherwise. I'm sure I'll get angry big accounts, verified accounts, claiming that the Elephant and Wonder Seed are game changers. This was the best year in gaming and probably won't be replicated for another few years or even a decade. They should have done something special and at least increase the slots, or maybe have a duel out from the top 10 and fans to choose the top 6, something fun like that. I mean, I agree, this year was unprecedented with the amount of good games. They should have opened the slots, but I agree, Mario shouldn't have been in the game of the year. Ella, if you lot tell me now that I'm still muted, I would do something that I'm not supposed to do. Just call me PB or LED or similar. Should be in the description below. What's that? What have you lot said? Ah, Discord. It is that in the description. How? First time in a week I haven't had someone wanting to do something with me. Welcome break. Nice. Well, I'm happy that you chose to come over here to spend some of your time. There's a pretty much new Harry Potter franchise belong to J.K. Rowling, mate. See Harry Potter about 60 times. Thanks for clearing it up. No worries at all. I'm just over here playing Mario RPG on my Switch at the same time watching here. What I like to hear. Kind of feeling that way myself. Mario RPG is still a GOAT. Is it a remake of the original? Or is it a new one? Is it the same game? Armored Core 6 is the next play likely. Sub-Zero. So, there is nothing wrong with audio, stop it. Small part of me wanted to say you're still muted. Do you have a cat house? I have 2. I have one that's around 7-8 years old now, and another one that's coming to 1. The 1-year-old is very playful and likes to do stuff that if he found a female, he'd probably get arrested for. If I can hear him after 30 years of playing in front of marshals, you guys got worse problems than me. Hey, not my fault that was empty just as he became less mute. RPG is a remake. Okay, so it is just a one-to-one remake. A few new things thrown into it. Right. Alright, so we have... let's make sure we don't get into trouble with this. And just take this right back to the beginning. That buys us enough time for the rest of the stream. Even though it is no copyright music, I'll still get a thing. Hogwarts Legacy has been nominated for Best Score Soundtrack for a video game at this year's Grammy Awards. Oh, it's music, so I'm not going to play it. But it's been nominated for Best there. And apparently Call of Duty is nominated as well. What is this? Does that list go up? No. But we've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 as nomination: God of War Ragnarok, Hogwarts Legacy, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and Stray Gods, the role-playing musical. Now bear in mind that these people at the Grammy Awards probably have no clue about video games, so they're basing it purely on the music. That's actually pretty sweet. Having a convo earlier about Quantum Error, do you think they shouldn't bother porting it to Xbox? I don't think it's going to sell. I think they should skip Xbox entirely. It's not worth it. They've burnt too many bridges, in my opinion, and that game needs a hell of a lot of work to get right. Deflated Michelin Man. Oh. So it seems. Dun dun dun. Sony made a filing that was coordinated with the FTC and shows they're still negotiating the scope of discovery with respect to the 10-year Microsoft Sony COD agreement. The filing just asked for more time to try to work it out until Tuesday. They're still at it. The deal's done, but they are still at it. Sony and the FTC working together to try and do what they can. It's like, you can't make this shit up, man. Fucking hell, Lena Khan, man. Parties can have different reasons for opposing discovery requests in our whole own part. Sometimes the administration burden matters, sometimes it's a pretext. I wonder what's so hard for the FTC to understand about the 10-year COD deal. A big game over on their screens. I mean, they lost. Just take the fucking L and piss off. My God. Dude, look. If you enjoy a game, no matter what anyone says about the game, it doesn't really matter. Whether it wins Game of the Year, whether it doesn't win Game of the Year, the fact is, if you yourself enjoy a game, that's all that matters. Whether someone else enjoys that game, it means nothing. The fact is, you're buying the game for yourself. You're not buying the game for another person. So the only person that matters if they enjoy the game is you. I mean, in the end, there's this whole outcry with the whole Game of the Year awards, but it applies there too. It's like a prestigious thing at this point to try and say, you know, you're delivering quality, and it does, you know, help, I guess, in some way with brand image, but as a consumer, if you're enjoying the games you're playing, you're enjoying the games you're playing. And that is all there is to it. Does anyone else wonder in Nina Khan owns Sony stock? I mean, they have to. Wasn't it? Was it in the CMA? Oh no, it was in the EU, wasn't it? That guy that turned around and said, "What does this mean to my PlayStation?" And he said it like that. When he was referring to it, he goes, "What does this mean to my PlayStation?" Patting his chest like that. That guy was never seen again. I don't even know if he's alive. He just disappeared. Actually, not always true. My neighbor had never played the Arkham trilogy, so I bought it for him. He loves them. I mean, Arkham trilogy is freaking awesome, right? Now this is awesome. This is awesome. You didn't do it. Half-Life turns 25 this weekend, and we're pushing a big update to bring back some of that 1998 feeling. With restored original launch day content, brand new multiplayer maps, a look behind the scenes with the original development team, and more. Half-Life, does this do anything? No. The Half-Life 25th anniversary update brings back a bunch of long-lost content, including the Half-Life Uplink standalone demo, launch day main menu, and old deathmatch maps created by the original team, plus brand new deathmatch maps made by current Valve level designers. We've got the band back together to celebrate this anniversary, and we invited the fine people at Find Secrets Tape to film it all happening. Getting together after all this time was the perfect opportunity to revisit the game as it existed in its earliest forms and talk about how... Where is it? Talk about how and why it eventually took shape the way it did. Check out the film to see what it was like to be a part of the team way back then. As part of the 25th anniversary update, Half-Life is now Steam Deck verified. Let's go! We did a whole Steam input pass on the game, so it also plays great on your favorite controller. To see the full list of updates on Half-Life received today, check out the patch notes. For the 25th anniversary, we've added 7 multiplayer maps to Half-Life, including 4 brand new ones: Contamination, Pool Party, Disposal, and Rocket Frenzy. The game's been updated with Steam networking support. The jumping on a server this weekend is easier than it's ever been. Half-Life Deathmatch wasn't quite chaotic enough, so we added a bunch of new sprays, plus we dropped in some new multiplayer models. Ivan the Space Biker and early Barney joined from Half-Life's pre-alpha days, plus team favorites Skeleton and Too Much Coffee Man. See you online. Man. This looks chaotic. Jason, yes they are. I mean, their first party games pretty much are going to be remasters going forward. That's it running on the Steam Deck. I'm not sure. That actually looks pretty decent. They've done quite well with it. Also, for those of you that don't know, Amazon Prime, if you've got Amazon Prime with Prime Gaming, you can get Knights of the Old Republic free right now. If you go to it, you can just claim it. So for those of you that haven't got it but always wanted to play it, now's your opportunity. Unfortunately, you do need to download the Amazon launcher. And I know how PC gamers and launcher wars are, but it's I think it's fine. It's a free game. Grab it. Hey, look, I know how people feel about games as a service. And I know how people feel about Warner Brothers going live service. I get it. I totally do. I am with you. I am with you 100%, right? I'm with you with this. But they're releasing Wonder Woman. And the main character is Gal Gadot. So I'm no longer with you. Speaking of Amazon, Series S is, what does that say? 7 stops away from getting delivered. Nice. Funnily enough, the first time I touched Half-Life was on the PS2. Honestly, Half-Life was what killed the Dreamcast. For those of you that don't know. Hey, I'm a simple guy, man. I'm a simple guy. I've had enough wax around the head when it's like I sit down and I go, "Hey, hun," to the wife. "Do you want to watch Wonder Woman?" And she goes, "Why?" "To watch you salivating over her." I was like, "Why not?" And then I get something thrown at my head. Usually have a bump for about 2 days, but totally worth the reaction. One of these days I'm gonna get brain damage. I do ask for it, but but you know, what do you not think of where is it? What do you think of this?
I see you've already stolen traversal equipment. You'll need it to stay off the streets.
I know you can't hear the audio. I'm keeping it off because every time I put any form of game audio, Twitter audio, I get demonetized. But what do you think of it? Plus, we've got awesome music in the background playing. That's a kind of chill vibe. Am I the only one that... There is a pride flag in the game. There is, yeah. It's right there. Right there. You see it? I know a lot of people... I've seen so many people turn around and say that they're not buying it just because of that.
To be fun, just existing and moving around in Metropolis.
I think it's a bit much. I mean, it's just like one tiny wall. It doesn't affect your gameplay.
We spend a lot of time trying to get that art direction correct, trying to get the feel for it correct. You get to see all the kind of DC lore.
Honestly, I just don't feel it. It doesn't excite me. This gameplay doesn't look great. This gameplay doesn't look fun. This gameplay... I mean, to me, what makes these games good is the story. Right? The linear storyline that you get. And what made Arkham Knights or Arkham... any of the Arkham games good was the fact that it had a storyline that you follow, but it was just an open world sandbox. Unfortunately, this is a live service game. So it's going to have stupid challenges like jump through 50 hoops or go and defeat 50 enemies for your daily bounty. And it's going to have dailies in there that it wants you to do. And it's like, I don't want any of that in a video game. Those are generally for just, you know, those mobile first games. I don't think so either. I also think, the fact that Sony are getting exclusive skins if you purchase it digitally is a bit wrong too. Apparently they're getting a rogue skin outfit, which I think is wrong. If they're indeed getting it, of course. I don't know. I've just seen store purchase saying that it was for sale, and you get the exclusive skins from it. Exactly, Steve. That's the type of thing I don't want, and that's what live service breeds, unfortunately. Rinsing them dry. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered leaked on PSN. Experienced the winner of over 300 Game of the Year awards, now with an array of technical enhancements that make The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered the definitive way to play Ellie and Abby's critically acclaimed story. Native PS5 enhancements. Built for the PS5 console, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered enhances the original PS4 game in ways not possible before, including a host of graphical improvements bring the beautiful yet dangerous world to life. Don't care. Visual performance now outputs at 4K in fidelity mode. Okay, but what does that mean for the frame rate? It doesn't say 4K 60. It's going to be 30 FPS. Improved loading times, more quickly let you jump into action. The loading times weren't even long to begin with. Full DualSense wireless integration. No Return, a roguelike survival mode. Okay, that's new. Experience The Last of Us Part 2's deep combat via an entirely new mode. Survive as long as you can in each run as you choose your path through a series of randomized encounters. Play as a host of different unlockable characters, some never before playable in the Last of Us franchise, which with unique gameplay traits. The variety of challenges feature different foes and memorable locations throughout Part 2, all culminating in intense boss battles. New ways to play. Delve deeper into this beloved adventure and learn how the original game was created. How does that make any sense? Lost levels let you explore early development versions of 3 new levels not seen in the original. Okay, that's kind of cool. That's cool. So you know, I'll give that. If I make that yellow, will it just completely kill it? It killed it. It killed it, chat. It killed it. Let's try and make it. I don't know. Purple. Okay, that's better. Even that killed it. Let's try and make it blue. Okay, that's better. Enjoy hours of new developer commentary to hear insights into Part 2's, you know, if you like that sort of thing. Live up to your musical potential with guitar-free play, which includes new unlockable instruments, or take on the new speedrun mode and post your best results. Right, there's someone in chat I remember that was a musician. Where is he? Where is he? Sanchez, there you go. They thought of you. I need that cater for you. Maybe if they did rogue skins for PSN and give Xbox a different set. Sony's paying for it, right? Even though Harry Potter will not be part of the Game Awards, I bought it anyway in spite of how they feel about the game, so I'm going to give it a try and see how I like it. Yeah, I mean, I've got it too. Pretty much for that reason. Because I actually want to play it. People didn't stick around long enough for City of Heroes, Villains, but that was a free-to-play game, right? What makes them think people will stick around for this game? Because they're going to pay for this. If it's a free-to-play game, your investment in that game is 0. So you just leave. Another remaster. Good lord. The humor of it is wearing off at this point. What a horrible cash grab. Spit on the face of consumer ponies don't care. I mean, it is a cash grab. Suicide Squad to me reminds me of the Agents of Mayhem game. Would have been better if it came out free-to-play. Maybe it would have, old. Maybe it would have. The Last of Us Remastered. What's inside? Game progression required to unlock. Only available for audio supported languages. Okay. But that's all Naughty Dog are releasing. But I do know they're working on number 3. Me rushing to pre-order. I mean, there you go. Mr. Pony right there. Me rushing to pre-order The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. And it begins with Unleashed, my boy. Do you know a fun fact about Unleashed? Would you all like a fun fact about Unleashed? I like stating this fun fact. Do you know that Unleashed, who caps for PlayStation 5 like it's the second coming of Jesus, doesn't own a PS5? He doesn't own... I mean, he is capping for a platform that he doesn't own. I get if you own the platform and you're kind of trying to big it up and you're trying to stand in that corner. But imagine trying to, you know, push the agenda of a platform. Everyone knows he doesn't have one. Everyone. It's common knowledge within the circle. He doesn't own a PS5. He doesn't own a PS5. So, I mean, the fact that he comes out and makes these statements is a freaking joke. My wife loves her PlayStation 4, providing exactly what she wants. No tinkering, no 50 ways to adjust settings. Just 2 button presses, and she's back in her Baldur room. $200 is not playtext support is worth it. I love my Steam Deck. I want a device I can tinker with. I mean, this is just a superior platform in every way, shape, and form. And it's only like, sorry, 100. I said $100 more. I apologize. It's $150 more. Him, Hyped, and Red Dragon are the worst. Red Dragon, I think, owns a PS5. I actually don't know if he does. I know in the country that he's in, it's very freaking expensive. So he uses Twitter as a medium to basically pay for his bills. So the more engagement he riles up through Twitter, just helps him pay for his bills and stuff. Hyped is just a bellend. And this dude, you know, Unleashed, he doesn't even have a PS5. You know, when you look at the worst of the worst when it comes to the PlayStation fanboys, they're all trolls. You've got Red Dragon, who is only saying what he's saying so he can farm engagement to pay for his bills. McQuack is actually decent. I like him. We don't agree eye to eye on everything, but I like him. He's pretty level-headed. This dude, I don't think owns a PS. I don't know what he is, but launching in. I mean, that was quick. I mean, that's how you know that there was no effort put into this. Red Dragon had a YouTube channel, but he actually he said on Twitter when I was just going through some of his messages that since Elon Musk, well, he said that Twitter was just becoming too much of a problem and the algorithm is really a pain to deal with. And I agree with that. The algorithm is horrible to deal with. As a YouTuber myself, I can tell you that it is 100% true. But he also said that the money he gets from Twitter through engagement, where he just posts triggering posts, is now making him more money than he made on YouTube. I don't know how much he was making on YouTube. I don't really care. But those posts that he is posting, where he's looking to get a triggered response, an engagement, someone to click on it, post on it, retweet it, provide a response, that's all engagement. And that's what he wants, because that gives him money. Of course, what we should do is basically community notes his stuff, because half the stuff he says is bullshit. It's wrong and it's against Twitter's terms and service. So doing a bit of a community notes would get him off here real quick, real fast. That's very sad. Didn't Red Dragon? Yeah, we did. Gotta say, I got fish hooked by Unleashed twisting the truth with the Japanese interview with Phil turned into 3-hour back and forth. Never again. I mean, Unleashed is just sad. He's literally capping and jerking over a platform that he doesn't even own. He hasn't even got a foot in the race. I can get the console wars banter. We all do it, right? We all have a bit of fun. We all mess about. But these guys are absolutely die-hard toxic. They are the worst of the worst. Those three are just real bad, man. I mean, Nicola, he's alright. I don't mind him. He does come out with some wild takes at times that want to trigger people, but he's playing the game. He's cool. But Unleashed, Hype, and Red Dragon, they are looking for nothing but rage. And they want to, they want to make you pour that out in their tweet so it can ignite a conversation and get them engagement, and then they get money. Yep, 100% agree. I've now blocked him and a couple of others. If you need to ask what the Xbox tax is, this is an easy example of what the tax looks like. Bullshit articles targeted to diminish IPs associated with Xbox. Why is it time to move on from COD? Is it because no one is playing or buying the game? No, it's because it's now owned by Microsoft, by Xbox. That's it. That is the Xbox tax. Wait a minute, I got told many times that nothing that game did was worth nominating. The Grammys think Hogwarts Legacy's musical score is worthwhile. The Game Awards didn't. Could it be that I was right again? I mean, everyone knows we were right. I mean, just look at it. Here we go. Right. Here we go. Can we all admit this guy's opinion on us products should be completely disregarded? I mean, at the time, you know, everyone thought that Redfall was going to be a great game. And, you know, we all were looking forward to it. What all the content creators said, it was fine. It turned out to be a bad game for launch. And it's doing even worse on Steam. And that's all the numbers that they can look at because that's all that's available. But he's now looking to incite rage here. Yeah, I think I was the one that told you that, wasn't I? J-Rock? Last time I was Part 2 Remastered Pro. Oh, that is good. That's golden. I like it. I like it a lot. It ran like shit, I remember. No, but it was bad. But did he know that this was posted before the game's release? Redfall is going to wake a whole lot of people up with a rude awakening. This game is officially a banger now because of its brand new update. Oh, this is after been having a ton of fun in it. The update actually fixed a lot. But even before the update, he was banging on about this game and saying how when it releases, it's going to be amazing because you have people like Holt Eastwood showing off the game and whatnot, and it turned out to be a bad game. But right now, it's in a much better place. But it looks like everyone is talking about The Last of Us Part 2. The deadliest combo in gaming. Are you fucking crazy? These guys act like they didn't have remote play before, but now that they've got it on, they've got a dedicated device that's worth shit. Oh, and by the way, I actually did reach out to Sony to see if I could get a review copy because I'm not willing to buy it. The PS Portal. Not at all. They declined. They just said no. For existing owners of The Last of Us Part 2, this needs to be a free or very cheap upgrade for this to go down well. It will not be free, it's going to be $70. I mean, wouldn't it be funny if Xbox picked up Knights of the Old Republic? Redfall may be on its way to turn itself around, but I don't think the people will give it a chance, even Xbox players. The KOTOR remake, as expected, is dead. Dead! PlayStation being horny in Maine. Does busting make you feel good? How about charting the depths of deep space? Or coming through firefights unscathed? Feel immersion like never before with these PSVR games. Okay, let's check it out. Let's check it out. Are we going to now see some PSVR games that's going to make me go, holy shit balls, I'm going to have to buy that right now? See, the Ghostbusters one, I kind of was interested, but I can realize that's going to be a hit and miss. So I've heard that Firewall Ultra is actually really shit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we do not have a single first-party game to show. Nice. Okay, that's a lie. They do have a Horizon Call of the Mountain, which was actually supposed to be a mountain climbing game that they decided that they would buy the game and convert it to Horizon Call of the Mountain. Do you know that, I mean, I've got a PSVR, right? I've used it maybe 3 times since I bought it, because there's nothing to play on it. Nothing that my Quest doesn't have anyway. And my Quest is wireless. Now, I can't even use it to stream games because I can't read chat. And they've not added a way for me to be able to read chat. There's no Twitch integration or anything for me to be able to, you know, look in a certain way to see a chat box. And they've got no desire to actually even help make do that. It's so bad. It's so bad. Third party, 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 third party. I mean, not all of these are coming out in 2028, but it's a decent list of third-party games. Although this one is exclusive. I don't know if this is exclusive. I think it might be exclusive. I know that's exclusive. That's exclusive. So I think these 4 might be exclusive. But these 4 are not. But this is what I'm saying. Exclusivity sells. And that's what Microsoft need right now. They need those exclusive games. Even though I'm one of the unlucky few that get sick in VR, I'd love to see Xbox get into the market. What happened to HoloSense? HoloSense is used by the military right now. HoloSense turned into a military application. It's now being used by the military for tests, augmented reality testing and stuff, and data integration. Just use Twitter for free. Yeah, pretty much. It was never really going to come out for Xbox. It costs £2,000 a headset. It's way too expensive for what it is. I mean, its capabilities are great, but there's no way they can reduce the price on that headset to what the, you know, to make it commercially viable. It's like £1,700 to £2,000. They do. The Sony VR game of the year, that was rigged as hell. Everything there was just Sony. Everything. Everything. The climbing game is shit. It is absolutely shit. Like, I'm not joking. It is shit. It is so bad. It's almost got no combat in it at all. All you do is climb for 90% of the game. It's so bad. I actually bought my PSVR headset for that game. Yes, you may call me crazy, but I'm a huge Horizon fan. And I expected something really awesome. And it's shit. It's so bad. And the fact that it got nominated for Game of the Year clearly tells me, as someone who can tell you, that it's freaking shit in how rigged it is. When I was a kid, my parents bought me any game I wanted, mostly rated M. I had Manhunt when I was like 10 years old. Nice. It's Sony's secret showcase. I mean, you might as well call it that. Call of the Mountain is beyond shit. It's really bad. For God's sake, I thought this was about to announce they're re-releasing it. Man, I would literally fall off my chair and scream in ecstasy if they remade Final Fantasy XI. Man, I would literally lose my mind. I love this game. I lost so much of my life playing this MMO, Final Fantasy XI. It's not even funny. Wasn't D-Batch a Xbox-centric person? Or am I remembering it wrong? He was, wasn't he? Oh, shit. What is this? That was Marlon. That was Marlon. But it's funny. That's supposed to be Lola. This is 100% a real bundle. Wow, man. Okay, no one buying this bundle. Oh. Yeah. Oh, they leaked. Someone accidentally leaked the trailer. Hey, let's check this shit out. Let's check this shit out. I tried responding, but I was too busy laughing. Sorry.
They were actually going to make a cure. The only catch. Sweet Jesus.
Doctor?
What are you doing in here? They would kill her.
Anyone play these on the 360? If you haven't, they're really cheap right now. Seriously, if you like JRPGs, these are two amazing games. They were available on the 360. This one especially, Lost Odyssey, was phenomenal. Seriously, if you haven't played it and you like your RPGs, pick these up. They're quite cheap now, $6 each with the Black Friday sale. I highly recommend it, especially Lost Odyssey. You'll thank me. PS4 versus PS5 graphics. There's no reason why you shouldn't use your PS5, dude. I see subtle differences. But what's the main difference? Am I missing something? A tiny bit? Crackles look the same. I mean, like I said, the PS4 version looked phenomenally good for its time. So they're charging me $70 for just lighting? The fuck out of here. That's not good enough, man. That's not good enough. Oh, you played it, yes, Seth? Lost Odyssey was great. Seriously, guys, it's a really good buy. Definitely check it out. Is there any topics that you guys want to talk about? Throw our way. We can have a little discussion about. How are you, like, I don't get it. How can you defend a remaster or a remake? It doesn't even deserve one. How can you, I mean, just release a free upgrade or a $10 upgrade for anyone that buys the PlayStation 4 version. I mean, this dude, like, it's sad to see how the moment Sony announces dog shit, they get so excited for it. What's happening here? I think they're taking their sweet time with Killer Instinct. It should have came out by now. I mean, it's just really bad. Oh, here we go. Players that have purchased this title can upgrade to the PS5 remaster for $10, digital only. Oh shit! If you so does that mean if you have this on physical, you can't do it? I wonder if you've got the physical, if you can do it. But that's actually a good move. That is a consumer move. But I wonder if you have to have the game digitally in order to be able to think. Yeah, I know what one you're called. Resonance of Fate was so good. Resonance of Fate I really enjoyed. But that's actually a really good move from Sony. PS3, PS4. I guess we're gonna see a Last of Us in the PS6. They gotta continue that trend, right? A new mode and new cut content definitely makes it less scummy, but the next gen patch should still be free. See, I don't agree that the next gen patch should be free. Work goes into making it, so I don't agree that it should be free. I know this is a take that a lot of people don't agree with, but if companies put effort into making it, I know Microsoft makes it free, and that's fair, but I don't feel that any studio is under the obligation to make it free. I think that's I think $10 for an upgrade is fine. Baldur's Gate Deluxe Edition looks good, right? It's really well priced. No? 80 euros. I think it was 79 euros. You got a bunch of stuff, and the whole game is on the disc. You don't even have to install it. You know, you play the games off the disc. There's no install on the consoles. Yeah, I think $10 is fine. I think this nature of just wanting everything for free is it doesn't work that way. I think that the whole news for this weekend is going to be The Last of Us, and of course, all right, I need to show something. Da, 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 da. Here is all your sold out PS Portals, guys. It's amazing, guys. Wow, guys. It's great, guys. I mean, it's sold out everywhere, guys. Hey, shit, guys, it's sold out everywhere. Oh my god. Look at all those gamers that want to buy the PS Portal, guys. Dudes, look at it. My god, all the gamers have bought the console because they are absolutely in love with this shit. Guys, I'm still scrolling on how many people haven't bought the PS Portal. Guys, are you impressed with how many actual gamers bought the PS Portal? 4 PS Portals. Are you impressed with how many people bought the fucking Portal? I mean, what the fuck is this? Da 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 da. And the list goes on and on and on. That 1,300 was for 4 of them. It's still overpriced. But guys, it's sold out. It's sold out. It's sold out, guys. It's sold out. It's sold out. I'm sorry, the PS Portal was so successful. It's sold out, guys. It's sold out. It's sold out. It clearly shows how successful. That was for a screen protector. It clearly shows how successful this was. Seems like for the case and stuff. Man, this is so successful. Man, this is so successful, guys. This is so successful, guys. Oh my god, this console is selling like hotcakes. I mean, no wonder all these gamers that have actually got a PS Portal in their hands. Thank God none of the scalpers actually bought this, right? God forbid if the scalpers actually moved in. Oh man, can you imagine if scalpers got their hands on these PlayStation Portals? Can you imagine what would happen? Jesus, one would think that they'd be flooded over eBay. Thank God they're not on eBay. Thank God. You know what? My dude, I think you mean scalpers are on fire. Because they are the only ones that seem to have bought it. And seeing as they are trying to flog it near cost price at times, it ain't selling. Which is good, because scalpers can piss off. My god, everyone thinks like the Portal is like doing mad sales and everything. They don't even go and check out the Facebook marketplace or like you know, all these other games. It's like ridiculous. You have a serious case of Stockholm syndrome to buy this. Sony has a really bad habit of removing features after launch. Do you wonder what their selling point is? What they said, Sony have came out publicly and said that they would never intended to make a profit or gain anything with the PS Portal. They've said that their whole purpose of the PS Portal is to continue engagement. That's all they want. They want to keep players playing when they can't play. They kind of want you to be suckered in. That's it. Hey, 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 look at this, look at this. Okay, this is weird. Now that's a weird take. When China makes their move on Japan, I'm gonna be happy. Why? That's a weird take. I'll give him that one. Why I'm struggling to get a physical copy of Gollum. Too many people bought it. Too many scalpers did. Now they can't sell it. I think it's worth more than $49.99. I think, considering the backbone on its own is $99.99, I think a $129.99 is about right. What's that? They used to be good hardware-wise, but nope, not these days. Last question. It's another cellular product? What, the Portal? No, it's Wi-Fi only. Yeah, but they're gonna want to make markup, right? They want some markup on it. So I think $129.99 would have been the perfect price for it. And then even those that just want to check it out would have probably bought it. But the scalpers are, they're in good form. Another day, another PlayStation remaster. I like that they added faster loading in there. They have to talk about that magical SSD. Android. But the base chip is really bad. Where is it? We were actually discussing this not long ago. There. PlayStation Portal teardown video reveals underpowered chip, bad repairability, and more. It's just not in a good place. Why do you talk about Santander? We don't talk about Santander. I love YouTube censorship, even though I butchered that sentence. I don't like YouTube censorship. It's too much. Dragon Quest 11. What a game. Tech of Microsoft, aka Big Tech Comp, will be in full force in Xbox gaming now. The Xbox will have 36 chambers of levels gaming studios in their hands. 100%, you've been told. Ah, those are the newer chipsets. So Microsoft's finally going into the processor market? That's interesting. I heard about it, but Nintendo. It's a UK bank. Breaking: Sam Altman fired as CEO of OpenAI. Interesting. How is that remotely the same? Man, these people are fucking sad. They really are sad. They are so brainwashed. It's not even funny. It's like, when I pity someone, you should take that as the lowest form of insult. And I really pity these people. Because no one wants my pity. Some reason autocorrects. Invested in OpenAI, AIS, ChatGPT are building their own to directly compete against ChatGPT. Yeah, I mean, AI is the future, right? Everyone's going to be looking to AI. Everyone's going to be pushing AI. It is the future. But I actually really like this. Come on. I don't know what it is, but I really, really like this. I don't know why. It just looks so cool. I really like it. There's just a really good charm to it. I really, really like it. And they're trying to say The Last of Us is better than this. Like, what type of brain dead mentality is that? Fucking morons, man. It does, yeah. I really like it. I really, really like it. I saw it the other day and it was cool. Goddess of Nikkei. Starfield number 5. The media only look at Steam. Insane that GTA 5 is still up there. Crazy. Look at it. Look at it. Oh my fucking god. Like, he hasn't played it 10 times already. Like, that's fake, right? That has to be fake. I mean, he even got rid of his blue check. Has to be fake. It's about time we all admit that PlayStation makes the most pointless ass remasters ever. But I do still stand by what I said. You know, we do need to be in a position where Microsoft is pushing third-party games. Microsoft needs to start putting out, you know, getting those third-party exclusives. They don't have to be on Game Pass day one, right? But they need to start getting that exclusivity. But for some, you know, I can understand the whole, if we get third-party exclusivity, it kind of needs to be on Game Pass, but it doesn't. And third-party exclusivity sells consoles. And I think at the end of the day, that is where we're at with Microsoft. And they've got the power to do it. They've got the money to do it. They're not a small indie company. But will they do it? Or are they just going to rely on their subscriptions? I think that's going to be the difference between Xbox moving from third to second to first, or staying bottom tier for all eternity, honestly. Right, so any questions to me before we call off the stream, or is there anything else that you lot want to check out? Any anything you've got that you want to post that we can go through, or questions you want to ask before we end the stream? It is 1:13 a.m., so it's a good time. Would they need to pay more than what Sony would third-party exclusives to make up the potential shortfall because of the size of the player base? Yes, they would. 100% they would. But it's you look at it as a long-term thing. When you get those exclusives, will it increase the number of consoles you sell? If the answer is yes, then the next exclusive you come to get, you're not going to pay as much because your console base has increased. So the idea is it's a long-term investment for bigger gains later on. Because without the console base, they're losing third-party exclusives to Sony all the time. Which means that the Xbox player base is losing third-party exclusives to Sony all the time. And it's not good for the consumer base, right? As an Xbox player, losing exclusive games, whether they're tied to 1 year exclusivity or 2 years exclusivity, it doesn't matter. Even if it's 6 months, it doesn't matter. You're still losing that game while everyone else is enjoying it. So the idea is you either get that game day and date the same time as PlayStation, or you get the exclusive rights in order to push your console to sell more copies. Thanks, Dyslexipedia. Those are the two I'm expecting Microsoft to at least mention. Well, I mean, that's what I'm expecting, but Microsoft may pull back and leave it for their own show. Who knows? I'll reach out, dude. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3, I reckon, is going to be shadow dropped on the day. I think we're still a little bit away from Kojima's exclusive, and I think that's going to be saved for a private showing. I mean, it would be great to see it on the 7th, but I think that's going to be saved for an Xbox showcase. GTA 6 will definitely be at the showing, I think. Hey, Sanchez, thank you very much for becoming a member. We are now at 7 members. One more and I can actually parade the members across the list. How about that? Good times. Again, for those of you that are interested in Knights of the Old Republic, Prime Gaming right now has it for free. If you've got Prime Gaming, you can claim it for free. There's a bunch of games on there that you can claim for free. Whether it's free for GOG, free for Epic Games, or through Amazon's own launcher. There's like a whole bunch of games for you to go through. I mean, she doesn't change, does she? She just doesn't change. Always looking to be annoying. You don't want to be paraded anyway? Oh, what's this? We would like to thank all the players for applying to the Kingdom Hearts Missing Link closed beta test. Don't forget that the closed beta test application period ends. Check out. What is this? iOS and Android.
他ならぬ君がこの世界に目覚めたのは漆黒の空に美しく歪んだ星の降る夜だった。
It's iOS and Android. GPS
流
action.
星が確認された海岸線
Oh
を調査してい
no,
た
not
ら
one of those.
漂着者？
手に負えなければ本家預かりということでいいんじゃないですか。
君の心を試すのにちょうどいい任務もあるし。
アストラル界へ赴き、ハートレスの討伐を行います。アストラル界は無と有とがつながる世界。
漂着者はまず本家で保護する決まりでしょ。
単なる歪みなら俺たちが来る必要はない。
真夏星はどっちだ。
錆びたキーブレードか。見せてもらってもいいかい？
異世界の記憶のかけらはとても貴重で、結社間で奪い合いになることもあるんですよ。
ここは光と
What
闇、
is this?
夢と歪みを持った多層都市スカラ・アドカエル。幕が上がり物語が始まる。それがやがて失われる。
Like, if I don't see Mickey Mouse in this, this is 0 out of 10. I didn't see Mickey Mouse. This is 0 out of 10. I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate that. And I hope you don't enjoy the content. I'm still gonna play it though. From the 2003 original Black Ops to the Modern Warfare, these are the best Call of Duty games of all time. Of course, Modern Warfare 3 doesn't make it in there at all. I mean, it's mobile. It's mobile. Right, folks, that is going to be it. Thanks so much for hanging out. It's been awesome. And we'll likely be back on Tuesday. Hey, there's Chili. What a way to finish with his little Lalafell. By the way, how many of you are going to check out Final Fantasy XIV when it comes out? The beta comes out, I think, in February for Xbox. which will be free to play, I think. Definitely worth checking out. And for those of you that do remember, I am on Odin's server. Yes. And I think it's Chaos Data Center. So for those of you that want to hang out in 14, because I do have an account and I do pay for it, and I do play it once in a blue moon. At the moment, I'm taking a break. But if you are looking to take part in it, and you are going to join an EU server, Odin is the one that I'm in. Look, Final Fantasy 14 is not a movie game; it's an MMO. It will not be on Game Pass. That much I can tell you. It's it won't even need Xbox Live to run. You know what I'm gonna do? Hey Taz, you became a member. You became the 8th member. What a guy! It came in clutch. But I'm gonna troll this guy now. You'll find them all here. I'm an arse, ain't I? Right, folks. I am an arse. I really am. I'll see you all next time. I'll probably try and stream again on Tuesday if I'm not doing anything. But yeah, I think try and do it on Tuesdays and Fridays. It worked well this week, so thank you so much to everyone that's turned up. It's been really good, and I'll see you next time. Remain legend, folks, and look out for some more content because you have a great ass. I know I do. I'm not sure how you can see it. That's kind of disturbing now. Are you outside my window? No, I'm just kidding. Take it easy, guys. Peace.